I didn't become a little bit of a slag. I became a total slag.
I'm addressing you, my dear. I hope you're listening. Considering that you're high and mighty in the British society, I would like you now to do your mates look a favor. Wendy, I would like you now to do your mate Dave Smith a favor. Wendy, I would like you to do your mate Veli a favor. Wendy, I would like you to do your mate Nanifa a favor. Wendy, by giving them the highest paid QC or KC in this country, their services to take me to court. You understand me? As per usual, what you people do, people like Luke, people like Feli, Nanifa, Dave Smith, you run miles and miles and miles with a story that they don't even know what is going on. That is what you people do. And I'm going to tell you now, you see what's happening to my friend's daughter. I pray to God it happens to those of you that have got grandchildren. It happens to those of you that have got children. It happens to those of you that have got friends and have got children. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying those people. I'm praying to God on a daily basis. It happens to your family. Look around. Wendy Wu, Feli, Nanifa, the bus driver, whatever he calls himself, you lot. I'm praying. That's going to be my prayer from today. Like it happens to each and every one of your children. If you haven't got any children, your brother's children. If your brother has not got children, your sister's children. If your sister has not got children, your grandchildren. And your great-great-grandchildren, for those of you that have got grandchildren. Yeah.
Why lying for? Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop fucking lying.
You don't have future here. You don't have future. You can never make it. You're supposed to be a dinner man, serving dinner to the students in the secondary school. Because you cannot do basic 1+1. You are here breathing heavy like a dog. Think about your life. You are a failure. You are a failure. You can never make it. You know you cannot make it. You need to be cutting grass, making this place fresh for the actual footballers that want to use this place. You are tired. You are here. What have you done? Useless. Me with my pregnancy, I'm better than you. Idiot.
Jamaican food, but I don't really love Jamaican people.
We don't like you neither. We don't like you neither. Matter of fact, we don't care what you like or dislike. Every blood clot minute in the company that come talk about Jamaica and this, Jamaica and that. You move your bum back.
I do not give a fuck. I really do not give a fuck. I didn't give a fuck and still don't give a fuck.
People will come and slap you down. Then you talk the truth again, they lock you in jail. Then when you are very strong and you talk again, they may kill you. They may even burn your house down. Like they burnt my house down at home. Now, when they burn my house finish, some friends who are very, Africans know they are very afraid of life. Hey fella, yourself, don't talk truth again. You see, they come and tell you not to say the truth again. Then I tell them, I say, them never hear anything at all. Then go hear pansa pansa. Pansa pansa means they will hear more and more and more until they can hear no more, because the truth can never die. When you are a revolution.
To the ladies, beat settings, infinity. Outside the birthday gang, outside Shannon, outside Amber.
I am a money maker, hand to the edge of a money maker. For one time, you're a money maker. If you're on this train, money maker. Hand to the air, money maker. For one time, money maker. On this thing, money maker. You see us terminal. You see me, you see me. I ain't watching you, I ain't watching her, I ain't watching him. I got to dance and bubble and sing. Terminal 4 with a terminal 3. Terminal 4 with a power goes. When you come to my house, just respect my house. Don't let my house, somebody out of my house. When you come to my house, just respect my house. Talk to them. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? Hold on, hold on. I'm like, no. I'm like, yeah. Hey, sleep up, hold on. Hey, Wiggy, hold on. I'm like, no. I'm like, yeah. Can I please have your attention? I said, this is the captain's weekend, and I'm in the terminal 4. Can I please have your attention? Early.
Yo, come on, yak. They in the Benz like Spracker. One bag of weed and bomber clock grabber. One bag of gal like Shabba. Lord, one bag of gal I get dagger. Lord, lick the gal them with the hammer. Lord, make the gal bar for their mama. Lord, make a rascal ball out Jaja. Come on, you telling me it's G-block up in this biatch. Bidiatch. What's going on? Walk on. Come on, hey, walk on, cocker skull. Yeah, man. Yo. Hey, trust me, it's been busy. Hey, you could. Yeah? Trust me, cousin. You know the settings, fam. You know it's hard out here for a PM. You hear me, cuz? Alright. Let me quickly big up the people them in the place while the register's short, so we can quickly slap in some work. Could jump off and go and do what I need to do. Yeah, we might come back a little piece later. Yeah, me cuz? Yeah? Alright. So shout out Information Supreme there. Walk on. I am in. All tight sugar love y'all. Jeez. Hey, walk on sugar. What you saying? Come on. Hey, big up yourself, man. Man like Simon Harrison. Walk on. Yeah, man, did that. Lord. Alright. So. Yeah, hey, bro. Why for that, cuz, man? Look what your name is, cuz. We can't shout that out, man. Love. In the name of the Lord and the Father. May I have to say blood clot lava. Yeah, alright, man. So, let me run this real quick still. Let it play.
Music seems so loud. I wish that we could lose this crowd. Maybe it is better this way. We'd hurt each other with the things we want to say. We could have been so good together. We could have lived this dance forever. But now who's gonna dance with me? Please start tonight the music.
How you mean? Yo, man, like Arnie Michael, you know. Mad, they gave him a mad suntan as well. Like he's doing a show at. You hear me? But yo. I said I'm never gonna dance again. Mad. How you mean? Alright, let's move that one, bud. Yeah. How you mean? Alright, man, so allegedly Nigel Farage hates when people get big donations from foreign entities like George Soros and all them sort of things there, you know what I'm saying? Alright, what was that? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I was supposed to say. I don't know if that was Chinese or what. Nyamsi. Yeah. Mad. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You see it? Mad. Yeah, man. But we know it's all chatting shit, innit? Yeah. Like, it's like the other side, innit? The man them don't want donations from any of the pagans. Or the pagans to get big donations. Yeah, but when they're getting their donations, though, it's nice, innit? You know, it's a long time. We not have no nice time. Woman and man for your rap up and wine. I hear me. Yeah, man. I hear me long time. If you get the girl, them a strong wine. Man. I hear me. Alright. So, let's run through a couple of these videos. I've got a couple short clips. Yeah, we got a couple short clips. Yeah, man. I hope you lot watched back that video yesterday. The whole documentary. Because I ain't even got to watch the whole documentary, you know, the 3 hours and something. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard work, innit? All about tell me. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Alright. So who we got next?
Christmas Day on December the 25th.
It's a pagan festival that's been appropriated by Christianity.
There is a great deal of truth in that. But also, there was the Roman god. There was Mithras. There are amazing things claimed about Mithras, and I'll read you some of them. He was a savior, Mithras, sent to earth to live as a mortal, through whom it was possible for sinners to be reborn into immortal life. He died for our sins, but came back to life the following Sunday. He was born of a virgin on December the 25th in a manger or perhaps a cave, attended by shepherds, and became known as the light of the world. He had 12 disciples with whom he shared a last meal before dying. His devotees symbolically consumed the flesh and blood of him. Because Mithras was a sun god, he was worshipped on Sundays.
Is he a tribute band?
He's often depicted with a halo around his head. And Mithraists gave each other gifts on December the 25th.
And you're kind of writing off the chances this was just a massive coincidence.
There's a few flaws, though, aren't there? I mean, I've never heard a bloke go, "Oh, Mithras," when he's coming. Have you?
Why is...
For Mithras, yeah? Hey. Yo. Nah. Hey, yo. Shout out to Illuminati and them still, man. You know, them man, they love to do the shows about all the different pagan beliefs that came before the ones that people are following today and that still. That's what that reminded me of, that clip there. Mithras. Yeah? What's the other one there, man, that chat about Krampus? There's some other ones as well. You get me? Saint Nick. Saint Nicola. Oh my days. Yeah, but so alright, let's remove that still. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, man. Yeah. So let's talk to some sensible people. Let's just talk sensible people we're talking about, yeah? Let it play.
Tesco say that they have to raise their prices because of a national insurance increase. But let's not forget, Tesco's made billions in profit of us last year alone. Now they're asking us to pay more to cover basic benefits for their workers. Benefits that should already be covered by those huge profits. It wasn't too long ago when you would go into a Tesco's and get warmly greeted by one of their greeter staff. And pretty much on every other aisle, you could find staff ready to help. And then you had the friendly cashiers that always asked if you needed help packing your bags. And if you did, they'd send another member of staff to pack your bags for you. What was absolutely wonderful service, especially if you had children. These same members of staff would make careers because they were good places to work for. You got nice bonuses or shares within the company, and you even got an hour paid lunch break. Now many of the stores have shifted to self-service checkouts, reducing direct human interaction. We have to buy our own bags, do our own scanning, and pack it all ourselves. And if you do need any help, you'll often find a member of staff that's usually overworked anyway. All that cost cutting only boosted their profits. We've lost the human touch while their executives pocket the gain. Tesco's employs over 300,000 people in the UK. While they've announced pay increases, many employees still rely on government assistance to make ends meet. This includes universal credits and food banks. And that means that taxpayers are indirectly subsidising Tesco's workforce, allowing the company to maintain their huge profit. Instead of absorbing costs like the national insurance increase, Tesco choose to raise their prices, impacting customers and employees alike. Shouldn't a company with such significant profits invest more in its workforce and community? It's time to question these practices. Should we as a customer and taxpayers continue to bear the burden while Tesco's profits soar? And next time they tell you every little helps, it does. It helps their profits go up. Hi all. So Tesco say that they have to...
Man, come on. Now for these big business, maybe the small businesses that wouldn't be able to absorb the costs out of their profits or whatever, and it's going to be a tight squeeze and blah, blah, blah. Them ones there, but not these big multinational super business or businesses that are paying out hundreds of millions in like dividends each year to shareholders. Like, come on, man. You could take like a couple million out of that hundreds of millions and spend on the work. Like, what the it's crazy still. And these man here, the people that are most likely to be working in these places are going to campaign against shit. That's the man them are going to campaign against that, even though it's going to end up helping people that are close to you or in the circle of people that you're campaigning for. This is where this Uno reverse season that we're living in right now is mad. And obviously, you know, yeah, the man them trick the people them so hard, yeah. I'll finesse the man them so hard that if I call you an idiot for supporting something that's going to be non-beneficial to the majority, you're going to attack me. It's mad, innit? I can't even call you an idiot, even though you're an idiot. It's mad. Yeah, man, but Amazon had something with their what was it called? An inquiry. There's an inquiry going on about Amazon, same sort of thing at the moment. Amazon workers keep striking because of poor work conditions and so and so. But when they're in the inquiry and the people them are asking them the questions, they're doing everything they can to basically not answer the question and blatantly not answering any questions at all. And these are the people that we're campaigning for to have more power and more freedom. They're going to treat us worse, bro. They're not going to treat you any better. It's going to get worse, man. These man needs to be regulated properly, because I was there. Obviously, think about this year. Any corner that you can cut, if you didn't have to do, would you do it? So why do you think they're going to do it? If you could make more money and without taking the risk, yeah, like the other people take the risk, the minions are taking the risk, the workers are taking the risk, or whatever, and the man are going to put you even more at risk in it while making more money. Don't worry about that though, man. It's alright, you know? Alright, go on, let it play.
What Twitter has become nowadays, a space where people feel comfortable admitting that they don't like seeing black people on TV. 20k likes on this tweet. No blue tick in sight though, just being a dense racist for pure love of the game. Thanks, Elon. The person he's getting upset over is this guy here, Clive Murray, a black British journalist who was born in Lancashire in England. I'm struggling to understand not only seeing a black man on TV and getting angry, but then proceeding to tweet about how angry it makes you. Like, at what point do you consider that you'd be better off base jumping without a parachute? Like the same guy saying if you watch Jamaican TV, you wouldn't see a white news host. Like if you didn't go to Jamaica, you wouldn't meet people with surnames like Brown, Williams, Campbell and Johnson, and they'd all speak English, and it's a real mystery as to why. I wonder if it's got anything to do with the reason their monarch is who he is. I mean, two can play that game. This is the head coach of the Jamaican men's football team. Actually, no, that doesn't work. Sorry, no, because Steve McLaren is Dutch. He's not English. Though we do have to ask the question, though, why the racists in the UK who are scared of becoming a minority in this country because of minorities in the UK treated differently or something? They would argue they're not, so what are they so scared about? This is basically what Twitter
My bad, I'm going to run that video again, yeah, car true, I was on I was on the phone. It made the video cut out still. Alright. Let it play it.
Twitter has become nowadays a space where people feel comfortable admitting that they don't like seeing black people on TV. 20k likes on this tweet. No blue tick in sight though, just being a dense racist for pure love of the game. Thanks, Elon. The person he's getting upset over is this guy here, Clive Murray, a black British journalist. He was born in Lancashire in England. I'm struggling to understand not only seeing a black man on TV and getting angry, but then proceeding to tweet about how angry it makes you. Like, at what point do you consider that you'd be better off base jumping without a parachute? Like the same guy saying if you watch Jamaican TV, you wouldn't see a white news host. Like if you didn't go to Jamaica, you wouldn't meet people with surnames like Brown, Williams, Campbell and Johnson, and they'd all speak English, and it's a real mystery as to why. I wonder if it's got anything to do with the reason their monarch is who he is. I mean, two can play that game. This is the head coach of the Jamaican men's football team. Actually, no, that doesn't work, sorry, no, because Steve McLaren is Dutch, he's not English. Though we do have to ask the question though, why are there racists in the UK who are scared of becoming a minority in this country? Because are minorities in the UK treated differently or something? They would argue they're not, so...
That is a extremely dope question, because, you know, what is the most scariest thing about becoming a minority in the UK for the English gang? What's the scariest thing about becoming a minority? Are you going to get treated differently than you are now? Would you be mistreated as a minority? Oh, minorities get mistreated, yeah? Oh, okay. Mad. What? Oh, strange that. Because as far as I'm concerned, yeah, the man them have been telling me that, yeah, you've been seeing shit for at least 5 to 6 years now. You hear me? Yo. It's like that fucking Tupac tune. You can see me, man. Oh my days. Even Stevie Wonder could have seen it. Even Ray Charles saw. Man. Oh shit. So let me ask the guys that though in the chat. What's the most worryingest thing about becoming a minority within the UK? Like what would that mean? Actually, you can take time to answer it, yeah, because we ain't even got time today still. Yeah, you can take time to answer, because we ain't even got time today still. All time man like method, my G, how you mean? Yeah, man, so he did ask a good question, scientific method, yeah. I'm asking the English peeps in the chat what would be their biggest fear if they became a minority? Yeah. What's the scariest thing about it? No, what's wrong with this word, man? Hey, listen, cuz. There it is. Suck your mum in it. Now you have to create a whole new account and subscribe to even type. Alright, God, let it play.
They're so scared about. This is basically what Twitter.
Oh. Yeah, man. So they've been showing hate to Clive on Twitter, yeah? Hey, shout out Champagne Socialist though, man. Jeez, what?
What's happening? Morning, bruv. You alright?
Same.
Yeah. Good question, man. Good question to wake up the people's brains, isn't it? This early times. Yeah. What's the biggest fear
about becoming a minority?
About being minority.
UK,
yeah. Well, I mean,
like,
really,
the way that a lot of people speak, right, science, is that minorities are not mistreated within the UK. So one of the answers that definitely won't be coming up from any of the people, right? That they're going to get mistreated as minorities.
Yeah, funny that. But it's supposed to be that on paper, the law don't see race and color and stuff like that. The law and the system, don't really see that. There's no mention of it.
All citizens are treated equal, right?
So, yeah.
Equality is already here,
So
bro.
it's people-
You don't need to fight for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see what the problem is. If someone said to me, if your ethnicity became a minority somewhere where it had previously been a majority, that really wouldn't bother me because I don't align myself according to ethnicity. The only people I align myself according to are my family and my close friends. And then aside from that, it would be people who are on the same wavelength as me in terms of with our ideas. And that's it. So there's not really any place for tribalism in my mind, really. But it is a valid question, and I remember this reminds me of something that I learned about when I studied politics and philosophy. There was this philosopher called John Rawls, this American guy who was a bit of like a hippie, but he was very smart. And he goes that the best way ideally to design a political system in terms of equality and rights would be to not know who you're going to be in the society. Meaning that if you could go back to the point before you were born and you don't know whether you're going to be a boy or a girl, white or black, or gay or straight, or any factor about yourself, then you would in that situation, before you know which one of these people you're going to be, you would make sure that everybody has equal rights and everybody has the same opportunities and legally the same potentials and all that. So that's basically a good way
They
of
say
looking
about
at
the blind applications, isn't it? Like the blind CVs. People usually get better feedback on a blind CV than they do on CV where they can tell where the person's from or their address, any sort of stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is it's a way of eliminating the bias, isn't it? So, obviously, whatever person you are, you're gonna explicitly fight for that part of society. You know what I mean?
Stronger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that,
and even with,
even this simple stuff here, and it's like when people ask, why do people do this and why do people do that? It's like, bro, it's simple stuff. It's if you're of a certain group, and a lot of the stuff that the people complain about might resonate with what you're saying, then of course you're going to speak about that sort of stuff also, right?
Yeah. It's natural, like it's hard to avoid that. It's not to say that it's hard to escape that. That level kind of identifying yourself according to your group mentality. It's really hard to escape that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it comes out in ways that you don't even realize your biases. But yeah, like for me, the way I see it is that I already look at the world in that sort of way. So, I judge people based on their merits or their ideas, basically, more than anything else, and their behavior, like things like how tall they are or how good they are at, well, I might judge somebody on how good they are at certain sports or whatever, but, like anything other than that, things about their physicality, like there's nothing really to judge there, is there? Because somebody of any type of physicality or background or whatever race or whatever could have completely different.
Stephen Hawkins, cuz there was no way that you would believe that Stephen Hawkins, when you saw him in his end state, you would think that he was as much of a genius as he was. So
yeah, you couldn't make that judgment about him. You'd be very wrong very quickly when he started talking. But that's what I mean, though, isn't it? It's like there's more to a person than just their physical attributes. That, in fact, I think is probably one of the least valid things about them.
All right, let me run this video real quick. Big up Carter, big up Khan. Let me just run this video real quick and then you man can jump in, yeah?
Yeah. Welcome to Broken News. The search continues for a vulnerable man who's been missing now for several weeks. The 60-year-old disappeared from his pretend home in Essex and was last seen heading to a private airfield in a gold Rolls-Royce. Our reporter has more.
Police say they're growing increasingly concerned for the welfare of a Nigel Paul Farage, who was most recently spotted wearing a tweed three-piece suit and smelling of fags, farts and stale piss. Concerns were first raised after the frog-faced fascist fanny didn't turn up to his job here in the sunny seaside resort of Clacton, where he'd been spending his time betting against the pound and working as an organiser of race riots. There were reports coming out of nearby Frinton-on-Sea that Mr Farage had been spotted and heard on the beach shouting at dinghies, a pastime he's said to enjoy. But when police investigated, it turned out to be a pissed-up, braying seaside donkey and not the ale-reddened, leather-jowled waste of carbon as first thought. Officers say it's not the first time Mr Farage has gone missing. Earlier this year, after several weeks, he was found in the visiting room of a Connecticut jail, his tongue firmly stuck up the pocket old chutney tunnel of international homeless racist Steve Bannon. Well, police say while the Enoch Powell supporter is known to have extremely tenuous links with America that he talks about a lot, he also has familial links with Germany, which he likes to keep quiet, and very strong links with Moscow. Back to you.
Thank you. Well, if you have any information on the whereabouts of Mr Farage, please call the number on screen now. Have you seen him?
Yo, Vel,
can you help?
The boy robbing people and running away?
What a lovely story. That's all from Broken News. You're up to date.
So, you know what I mean? The local residents of Clacton have put out a missing report for Nigel Farage, who they ain't seen him since he got voted in. You get me? They ain't. The Clacton
hey, yo, Vel, you got an APB on him? They gotta watch out for
APB on Nigel Farage. I was like, yo, have you seen her? Have you seen her? Tell me, have you seen her? Man.
Hey, yo, the boy robbing people and running away, man.
Everywhere I go, I can see Nigel Farage at the radio. Oh man,
he's not at the show. Have you seen him?
They can't find Farage because he's gone. He's in Mar-a-Lago.
Hey, yo, the boy robbed everybody and ran away, yo. Wow.
And he fucked up the pound as well, still, man. So, but them man still love him, still. It's mad, still. All right, but I got two more vids here.
The Royal Mail has been bought by a Czech billionaire Daniel Kretinsky for £3.6 billion, taking Royal Mail out of British ownership for the first time in 500 years. Now, this is part of a trend because foreign individuals come owning British infrastructure that's been sold off under privatisation is nothing new. For example, British Steel was bought by a Chinese firm in 2020. Another example is our railways. In 2017, the RMT did some digging and found that 70% of UK rail routes are now owned by foreign states. Why? They're not the ones using the service, and the service is crap. And even the ones owned by British companies are appalling, but they still win government contracts despite providing a substandard service. All the water companies, almost 3/4 of England's water industry is owned from abroad. At least 71% of the shares in England's 9 privatised water companies are owned by organisations from overseas, including the super rich, banks, hedge funds, foreign governments and businesses based in tax havens. Water companies, since they were privatised in 1989 by Thatcher, have accumulated £69 billion worth of debt, yet in the same time period have paid out £72 billion in dividends to their shareholders. And what do we get in return? High water bills and piss and shit in the rivers. And don't be surprised that a Labour government is continuing to sell us out under privatisation like successive governments before them, because this Labour government has been more than happy to accept donations from the private sector if it meant they could get closer to power. It's why the NHS, for example, is not safe under this Labour government, because they are allowing the private sector further in and they are showing no signs of leaving. It should not be controversial to say this, but British infrastructure should not be in the hands of foreign individuals, companies or states, nor should it be in the hands of British companies. It should be in the hands of the British state. Because when something inevitably goes wrong, how do we hold those foreign entities accountable the same way we can do with governments? Think of the security risks associated with foreign states having access to our infrastructure. Why does our government continue to put us in this position where our public services are run for profit and shareholder value, not for the people who use them? You might have seen that Royal Mail has been bought by a Czech.
Yo, that's facts, yo, but I got one more, yeah?
Hey, yo,
One
Bell,
more, yeah?
London Bridge is falling down,
Anti-champagne
man.
socialist, though. Yeah, shout out champagne
London
socialist,
Bridge is
though,
falling
man.
down, yo.
Yeah, man, shout out champagne socialist, you get me? Bringing the pain in the sham, you get me? How you mean?
Well, I didn't like what he just said there. I didn't like what he just said there, because the implication in what he just said there was that you can hold your government responsible and you can make your government accountable for all the things that they do. But that's not the narrative we've been hearing.
God forbid. Wow.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that that's not what we've been hearing though. We've been hearing from people for years that the government gets away with doing anything. So
The government can do anything. But this is why it's dumb, innit? Like, and even it's mad that people that would be in a position to, or wouldn't even be in a position to buy out these water companies or whatever, would allow or be voting for people that would want to sell them off and not bring them back into public ownership, because obviously it would raise the standard of fucking drinking water that we have at our taps in our fucking houses. There's no competition
that's the sad thing
in the market for water. You can't. How can, like, Thames Water controls London? That's it. There's no other water company that can tender for your tap. Like, there's one set of so we can't. Like, it can't be a competition. It's done. So it can only be a monopoly.
Well,
and where they just withdrawing funds for the shareholders, like they done, and just put the fucking Thames Water and the other flipping privately owned water companies into there.
Well, look, there's two sides to it, yeah, and that is one side to it. That privatizing your base kind of industries that your country needs to survive, i.e., the energy and water, you can't privatize those things, because that's the equivalent of handing over the keys to your safe to a foreign person or an outsider. That's dangerous, you know. And allowing someone else to have control over such important aspects of your society, it's ridiculous.
What they're basically doing is they're devising new methods. They're
but the problem is this:
extracting money from the taxpayers' fund.
Yeah. All that is true, yeah. But what you guys need to understand, yeah, that in business and economics, yeah, the power of money is so great that you could end up in a better situation in terms of, like, when London Transport was, just run by the government, they didn't have to answer to nobody. So whether they were 90% efficient or 90% on time or 80%, no one could really say anything to them, and you couldn't vote and make them fix up.
Now I get that though. I get that.
It's the government.
Nobody should be running us.
Hey, Science, hold on. Science, on that point, David, you did.
Science, nobody should be holding us down.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
On that point, yeah, that at that time there, you would hold, because that's when the new London mayor and all that sort of stuff come in, innit? Like, so you could vote in or vote out the London Mayor for the efficiency of the transport. You vote in and out your local council on the efficiency of the so. So they have to hold these people to account if the shit's not running on time, if the bare leaks. Like right now, every 2 seconds there's a leak in some pavement somewhere in every side of London I'm driving through. There's cracks on the road and the roads are mashed up or whatever. Like, if we're not holding the government to account to make these changes be top of the list.
Exactly, Val, right?
And they're running about talking about, we want our country back and all this other dumb shit.
Right? You gotta fight for your country then, man.
Do it. They ain't gonna do shit, bro. They're just gonna leave it. But sorry, go on, Science, finish your point.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's one side of it, yeah, is that the government or whoever's in power at the moment, you can choose to not vote for them next time, but the next people in play again will be in the same situation. The thing where the financial incentive comes in is that an outside company has a point to prove, meaning that they will be given standards that they need to hold on to. Like, for example, bus companies have to tender for every route. So every company tenders for routes that they want.
Not if there's a monopoly.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, is that when
who give them the power though to do that?
When the government privatize one of these industries, they do it on the basis of competition. So that's no, but I'm saying to you is that different.
That's the whole thing. Science. Maybe if the government was making regulations and so that made it that these people get fined and there's different consequences to pay if they don't,
and that is what makes them raise the standard, and that helps them. That forces privatized industries to maintain much better standards because of the financial backlash. Meaning
they're not doing that.
Right.
Yeah, but
you getting it now, Science. You getting it now, yo. It's about
they're
money,
not doing that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The water companies don't have a consequence to pay. Like, they're supposed to be fixed, like the pool that's in the water, Severn Trent water or whatever, and they keep doing testing on all these different water. Then they're telling. Remember, at one time, it was like national news that you couldn't drink tap water in certain parts of the UK.
Yeah.
And
but I don't know if
that was run by the private companies.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So something like that, then obviously that's something they have to answer for. But I don't know whether those standards are any better than what they were before. So meaning that this could well have been a situation that there was that in the water for years, for decades. Meaning that even before it was privatized, who's done the checking and the testing?
Nah, it was a new thing.
So Science,
who set
the standards?
Is that
so was it shown?
Is that instead of because I can't remember the guy's name, but he's done tests on the water in it, like, because they go down to a certain part of the river, collect the samples, and it's got it had like bits of shit in there and all that, bro. Do you get me?
Well, now if they can prove that, look, the standards weren't upheld by the companies that have taken over, then obviously that's a big step down in the quality of our water. And like you say,
the standards they do.
They should. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, that when a government privatizes such an important industry or public amenity, then they can't hand over the full reins of control. They have to maintain the standards to be met, and they have to enforce them. So if they do that, then privatization can be
they're gonna lose money if they don't do that. That's why.
Yeah, but I just can't understand why they would do that without enforcing the higher standards than what they were able to achieve themselves.
Basically, like what they do, Science, the money that should go towards paying the fine that they will incur, or even fixing the problem in the first place, is going into the pockets of the fat cats. And the fat cats that are running the show obviously give a little backhander to politicians, and they're telling them, listen, don't worry about what we're doing over here.
Yeah, but then how do they ever get caught? How do they ever get caught?
It seems like that there isn't some major consequence for the water companies for the way that the Thames Water and all that sort of shit's going at the moment. Do you know what I mean? But obviously there's fines that will get issued out by this one, that one, and the other one. But how comes it never seems to, or there doesn't seem to be fixing or making a fix on the problem? Like, shouldn't it be like they have consequences on paying out bonuses and all sorts of shits like that?
Hey, yo, Val, in Michigan right now, their water's dirty, yo. Properly. Right? They got to drink that water from Michigan, yo. And it's getting them sick over there, man. You could research this, yo. Right? I don't need nobody to tell me what to do, right? Like, come on, man. Like, it's crazy.
You know when you've been talking for half an hour and no one even responds to anything you say, and then you throw a little thing in there, like, right? Right?
Hey yo, Khan,
And
you
you're still
good,
getting
man? Hey yo,
blanks.
Khan.
You're
Hey
still
yo,
getting
you know what, Khan?
blanks. Right?
Khan, you know what? I'm not even gonna
Right?
spaz on you, B. I'm just riding out, yo. I'm not gonna spaz on you, B.
We're hearing these tumbleweeds, right?
Yeah, nah, them man there, yeah, that Thames Water or whatever should have been upgrading the sewage system and then obviously the water system so you get less of these pipe bursts happening through the thing over. And then in the end, when they're taking the shareholder profits and the water's working clean and there's no burst pipes here, there and everywhere, obviously like, or minimal, it's minimized or whatever, because obviously, you know, accidents and so and so are still going to happen or whatnot. But when it just seems like it's been mismanaged, bro, and these men are just taking out big profits
Vel,
on the shareholder
right?
side.
Hey yo, Vel,
It
we
seems like,
right, like as
I don't know
people,
why that's been allowed to happen.
we 70% water, man. As people, yo, we need water, man.
You're funny still.
Why
But
you
listen,
fucking up our water, B? Why you fucking up our water?
hey, listen, let me play this video real quick still. Yeah, and then I've got to jump off still. But if you man want to chill,
Let
and
it
if you want to come
play.
still.
Let it play.
Hanging out with Elon Musk at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago mansion, discussing how Elon Musk plans to give Nigel Farage £78 million as an FU to Keir Starmer to help Nigel Farage and the Reform Party take over the government. Now I want you to look at this photo and remember what this man's entire brand has been for the last 8 years. Like, how did he describe Brexit on the day of the referendum result?
A victory for real people. A victory for ordinary people. We have fought against the multinationals. We fought against the big merchant banks. We fought against big politics.
He's even specifically complained about American billionaires like Jewish Holocaust survivor George Soros funding political campaigns in the UK as election interference.
US money is flooding into Europe in a huge way. It has been for many years. Indeed, the campaign in Britain to try and force a second referendum is funded by Mr. George Soros, who has been a US citizen.
This man interferes in elections and referendums all over the Western world.
Not to mention just generally standing against the idea of the global elites undermining the decisions of the British people. So his whole thing has been fighting for the well-being of British working class people against the elites and large multinational corporations. Yet now he's chilling in the foreign palace of the American president, the most powerful person on the planet, so that the richest billionaire in the world, Elon Musk, also an American citizen, can funnel millions in cash through a large multinational corporation, also known as Twitter, to him so that he can change the opinions of British voters. And even if we ignore the optics and the hypocrisy of that and say, well, being foreign or being rich doesn't make them bad people. What if they're trying to do a good thing? But what is Nigel Farage actually trying to do? It's things like this.
And I think we're going to have to move to an insurance-based system of healthcare. I would feel more comfortable that my money would return value if I was able to do that through the marketplace of an insurance company than just us trustingly giving 100 billion a year to central government.
So making it so that your ability to access healthcare depends on your ability to afford it at a market rate, which will obviously work out really well for billionaires, not so much for the people that are currently suffering in a cost of living crisis. In fact, it gives the phrase cost of living an even deeper meaning. And obviously his main project has been Brexit, which according to him,
we haven't actually benefited from Brexit economically.
And his party,
we're getting poor for a variety of reasons, of which Brexit is one.
In fact, they've explicitly said that they plan to make us even poorer, damaging our food supply for the next 20 years.
You have to swallow your medicine to get better in the future. So this is maybe a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year plan.
So in that time, we'd have made...
Yo, Brexit was shit, bro. There's no benefits from Brexit. These might come up here and cry for hours a day. Don't they one benefit? Anyway, let it play.
Food significantly more expensive before we can actually make our own.
Sometimes you have to take a little pain with some things
for it to work.
That is what would happen if Elon Musk was successful in helping Nigel Farage become Prime Minister. So the man who framed himself as being a working class hero fighting back against the global elites is now deliberately making working class people poor while riding in an American billionaire's limo. And he's doing it in typical Nigel Farage fashion, with lies and smiles. Because this is what he said about taking money from Elon Musk 2 weeks ago.
Elon Musk, what I'm more interested in is who's democratically elected.
You've got to worry about him giving him $100 million. You've got to worry about that.
Who's democratically elected to represent the interests of a country?
I mean, if he
with
offered
which
it,
we
Nigel,
have a very close relationship.
would you take it if he offered
It's
it?
a fantasy. And by the way, we won't get the money.
So he called it a fantasy, said it would not happen. And
So
yet
the
now...
we did talk about money, and we will have ongoing negotiations on that. I mean, he is fully behind us. He wants to help us. He's not opposed to the idea of giving us money, provided we can do it legally through UK companies. Look, if it did happen, well, that'd be great.
So Elon Musk wants to give him the money. He wouldn't say no if it was offered, and they're currently negotiating.
Wow.
Now, A, that means it's going to happen. B, negotiating, with a donation, you just give the person the money. Negotiating means you're getting something back. So what exactly is Nigel Farage promising Elon Musk? Because that sounds a lot to me like a foreign billionaire is buying the ability to change UK policy. Which sounds bad, which is why it's illegal in the UK to accept donations from foreign individuals. Unless, of course, that foreign individual owns a multinational corporation which has a branch in the UK through which he can funnel the money. So Nigel Farage is deliberately using a loophole to undermine British democracy. And yes, there are rules about how much parties can spend during an election, but that only covers the regulated period, which is the year just before the election actually happens. We're now almost 5 years away from an election, so the Reform Party can spend that millions in cash now, boosting their social media, poisoning the minds of young boys. We've already seen that Nigel Farage is huge on TikTok because he wants to go after 15, 16, 17-year-old boys. Which is why, and this is one of the only things I ever agree with Nigel Farage on, we need to start taking advantage of the benefits of Brexit. Because unlike in America, unlike in France, we have seen the agenda of Nigel Farage play out. We watched Nigel Farage push for Brexit for decades, and it has made people poorer. And they have admitted that, so we need to use that when we're talking about the Reform Party, which, let's remember, was originally called the Brexit Party. That's their entire reason for existing. So they are on record as admitting that the reason they exist has made working class people poorer. So if we allow a billionaire's cash to allow them to paint themselves as the champions of working class people, we would deserve everything that comes from that. And that's one of the reasons they're targeting 15-year-old boys, because 15-year-old boys weren't politically aware back when Nigel Farage was making all the promises around Brexit. They would have been 7 years old. Nigel Farage is deliberately targeting the young and vulnerable. So you need to be having that conversation with every person, especially every young person you know. And by the way, the loophole that allows Nigel Farage to take millions in cash from Elon Musk but via Twitter, guess who left that door open? Oh yeah, it was the Tories. But if Keir Starmer isn't willing to legislatively close that door, then it's going to be up to us. By now you've seen the picture of Nigel Farage.
Yeah, man, so the man them are against WEF, international big business taking over the country, yeah? Unless it's X or Tesla. So, yeah, hypocrisy 101.
Hey, yo, Val, he's spazzing on the board, man. For real. He giving up the tapes right now, babe. People better listen, man. Listen to this, man.
Box man in his jaw.
Hey, yo, the boy, the boy dropped 100 million on him, man. What? 100 million?
On his jaw and told him to cool off.
Yo, B, right? Hey, yo, that's crazy, man. Like the boys over there just messing up the country, yo.
He ain't received the money yet, still, but
yeah, but he's over there messing up your country, man.
That's inevitable. He's gonna receive that bread, isn't it? But,
and he got the millionaires backing him, yo. Like, hey, yo, chill out, man. Like, nah, look, listen to what the people say, man. Huh?
Inevitable
Let us
anyway,
talk.
but like you're saying, yeah, for the longest time, the right wingers that jump on this panel specifically have been crying about people like the WEF, big business from Europe, having control in their country. But now, these same man are celebrating because a multinational businessman is willing to fund.
Nah, yo, Val, I know you got mixed race kids, man. I know you not like that, B. It's okay, B. Right? People gonna say what they wanna say in life, man. I know you not like that, B. I've been rocking you. I've been rocking with you for years, B.
Yo, listen. Well, yeah, I don't even know what markets had to do with anything that was just said in that scenario there. Yeah, like I just said, yeah, boom. The Nigel Farage, or the supporters of Nigel Farage, have been consistently saying that people like the WEF, international business people, big business, and so is doing whatever they can to take over the country, and they're against that. So now, someone
is he though?
That is
Vel,
of that
is
ilk,
he though?
yeah, someone that is of that ilk is funding a party that they celebrate, and these men are celebrating. So it's like, really and truly, these men are just hypocrites. It's not that they was worried about the. They was worried about the international business.
Hey, yo,
It's
Vel,
because
nobody
the
should
international
be backing
business
that boy.
wasn't funding. International business wasn't funding what they wanted it to fund. That's the only reason why the man was buying it.
Yeah, they didn't
Yo,
want
sorry,
Soros.
Carter,
They didn't want the left wing.
can't. Yeah, go on. I need you, man, to chat for a piece though. Still, man, I need to go do some work, bro. It's knock on this customer's door. It's like nowhere to park.
It's alright, man. We'll just let what's his name, Carter, do his thing, innit? Carter, you got 20 minutes, man. Run with it.
All right, let me go off then, right?
Go on.
So this is what I'm saying, right? The boy shouldn't be like that, babe, right? He's shitting on your country, man.
Yo, B, go on, keep talking.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
talk
do what you do to
different.
other people.
Hey, yo, Con,
B.
I talk different, Con. Yeah, I
Yo, it's
talk
cool,
different,
bro.
B.
Yo, bro,
Hey,
carry
yo, I
on
talk
talking,
different, Con.
Carry it
Yo.
on, bro. Don't stop talking. Don't stop.
Hey, yo, I'm not even getting at you, B. Chill out.
No,
You
it's
said
cool. Don't let me
go.
distract you. Don't let me distract you.
And the boy pulled up and said, "Don't let me distract."
Carry on, carry
You
on.
should have said nothing from the rip to him, B.
Yeah, but you've been chatting while people have been chatting.
No, I'm listening to everything, B.
Yeah, boy.
Oh yeah, let me run one more before. Let me run.
God, take off, Val. Let it play.
It's important. It's important. It's important.
Let it play.
What's a coincidence that you think about a lot?
I think about how a lot of the banks that received bailouts back in 2008 were heavily invested in by BlackRock, and that the person that the US government put in charge of managing those bailouts was Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. And also how one of the people who's credited with at least a good chunk of the popularity of subprime mortgage-backed securities, which is the type of investment that caused that collapse in the first place, was Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. That's a weird coincidence. I mean, it almost would look as if the US government paid Larry Fink to give himself taxpayer money as a reward for destroying the world economy. I mean, it would look that way if it weren't such a coincidence.
What's a coincidence that you think about a lot?
I think about how...
Hey, you don't need to be a conspiracy theorist to believe in that one, bro. Carter, have you seen that film New Jack
Nigel
City?
Farage met with Elon Musk at Mar-a-Lago, and we should all be concerned. As I'm sure we are all aware, Elon Musk is reportedly considering donating £79 million to Reform UK. To give you an idea of how much money that is in British politics, here is how much money political parties at the last election raised. So £79 million is a lot of money and influence that could do a lot of damage. Let's also not forget that Musk owns Twitter, which was used during the UK race riots to spread lies and misinformation about the identity of the Southport attacker and fuel tensions in the UK, tensions that Farage used to his advantage and continues to do so. And it's very clear that Musk likes to be involved. He's currently working with Trump after donating his time and resources to help Trump get re-elected. So if Farage does receive a load of money from Elon Musk, he's not going to let Farage do whatever he wants. He's going to want to take an active role in proceedings. Now, you would think, given that Farage has long rallied against foreign unelected bureaucrats interfering in British politics, that the idea of accepting money from a foreign unelected bureaucrat who wants to interfere in British politics would be alien to him and go against his political values, but time will tell. But Farage becoming Prime Minister in our lifetime is inevitable, so long as we have a Labour government that is not committed to improving the country. Support for Reform UK and Farage will go up as they present themselves as forces for change and reform. A political party like that in charge of government beholden to a narcissistic billionaire would be catastrophic for the UK. You might have seen that Nigel
Carter. 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 Never you, where are you, Lamb? Oi, Carter, have you got any Turkish people in your town? Where are you from again? Brooklyn, innit? Is it Brooklyn or Queens or wherever you're from? You got any Turkish people in Brooklyn? I heard that there's nice halal food in Brooklyn. Carter! Where's he gone? Fucking chatterbox big mouth, and when you want him to chat, he's fucking not there. Madman. Why is it being left to me, man? Scientific prat's not around. Oh, people don't want to hear my fucking ramblings. SM Khan. Wee man, you've always hated me, innit? I don't know why, because you're the opposite of me. You're the wee man, and I'm the big man. Like, I'm not fighting you for your spot, innit? Like, why you always got beef with me, wee man? I don't get it. I don't know the people you know, innit? I don't move in the circles you move in. How is it you've always got something to say about me? I don't get it. It's that pure hatred, but I love it still. Big up all my fans and all my haters. That man's actually called himself Wee Man. He's actually giving himself that name. I still can't get over that. Who else are we looking at here? Empress Sakina. Oh, the beautiful Empress. Where have you been? Why do you call yourself Empress? You're not a black woman. Empress Sakina. Why are you calling yourself Empress? Don't make sense, does it? Badmarsh. Wee Man is your Ethiopian bro. Yeah. Don't know. Don't know why it's such a big deal, bro. Man's Ottoman, yeah? We used to rule the world. Like, we mixed with everybody. Don't see why it's like the only person you're going to see with Chinese and Ethiopian blood mixed together is an Ottoman. That's a fact. Man used to rule the world, bro. Like, why are you hating for? Because you come from one little small village and you'll be marrying your cousins for however long. You get me? Bro. What's the deal, bro? Badmarsh. It's hard to translate what Badmarsh says into coherent like words because obviously man's been a cold kid for so long. Like, when you chat to a crackhead and you're like, what's happening, bro? And they're like, yeah, last week, Wednesday, aliens came to visit me. Like, he's one of them guys that you don't know what he's going to say. Big up Badmarsh still. You know, if there's any like good cases for rehabilitation, Badmarsh is the role model. You can come back from being a flake and just be normal again. Big up Badmarsh still. Who else we roasting? Stu B. Carter, you're such a spastic. Like, I thought I was bad. I thought I was ADHD in it, but you're on the next level, bro. Carter. What's the deal with you, fam? Where is the deal? Like, seriously, have you been diagnosed?
Why are you getting that Carter, bro? What's Carter done?
It's just jokes and banter, innit? I'm trying to create like material from thin air. It's not easy.
Nah, Carter is pretty dumb. You're right. He is pretty thick. Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong, innit? I'm just saying, innit? You just having a go at everyone.
Yeah, well, I'm just going through the list of people. Look who I'm coming to next. Rika B. I can't say nothing about Rika. Rika's gorgeous. You're beautiful.
Oh, is that the only criteria? So all the other people you didn't find attractive, that's why you had a go at them?
Do you know once, I was in a physics lesson and I had an amazing physics teacher. He had actually had a degree in maths and nutrition. He had 2 degrees. This guy was amazing Indian teacher. And I said to him, sir,
maths
I don't know where
and
I come up with this
nutrition,
question.
that's
Yeah,
weird.
because he was teaching us physics because he was qualified because he had a degree in maths. But he said his first degree he did it in nutrition because that was his passion. Anyway,
Was he a fat guy?
No, he wasn't. I asked him, well, I said he was Indian, right? Well, how likely is it that he's going to be fat? But anyway.
What? Just fat Indian
asked him-
people, you idiot.
Nah, not that many.
It's not only Turkish people that are fat. Just Indian people
Anyway,
that
I
are
asked
fat.
him this question. I said to him, sir, for something to be true, does the opposite also need to be true? And he said, no.
For something to be... That has got to be the dumbest
You know,
question
like when you ask someone
I've
a
ever
question
heard.
and then they flip it 180, they automatically assume that, well, if your logic running in this direction is true, then using the same algorithm in reverse must also be true, right?
No, it must be false. The opposite of a true thing must be a false thing.
Exactly. There you go, see? That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I don't know how he managed to understand you because that's not kind of what you said.
I know, but I just like, I was relying on you to kind of fill in the blanks.
It's more of a philosophy
More of a
question than a
fluke.
physics question.
Yeah, but like people do seem to sort of like use that
Do you know what?
logic in their
You know what
in
that
their
reminds me
questioning.
of? You know what that reminds me
What?
of? Yeah, in
What?
barefaced honesty. Yeah, as a grown man of my age, like 46 years old, I can remember back through so many stages of my life where I thought I was being really clever and asked a lecturer or a really well-educated person, somebody with a PhD,
Or like a
somebody.
professional debater.
Yeah, that's really smart. I mean, I asked them a question trying to show off about how smart I
Yeah.
was. Yeah, and then based on the response I got, little by little, it made me realize that I'm not that smart, nowhere near. Yeah, and I don't know that much about these topics that I'm thinking about. But over the years, I've fixed up myself in a number of ways. But it's through going through that process of trying to put myself out there in front of people who are just obviously experts in certain fields, and then them just correcting me. Whereas me thinking that they're going to be like, "Right, how did you know that?" Or I was expecting that. I actually got, "No, actually, you're dead wrong, mate, and you couldn't be more wrong, and this is why." And so
But it's
those
all part of the
experiences,
process though, right?
yeah, like it was necessary because I was
Yeah.
basically delusional about my own understanding, about the level of my understanding.
Yeah, I think the ego does sort of delude us, right? That is the whole point of the ego. Why we can't like if the ego wasn't delusional, it would be one of the best like weapons or one of the best things that you could have. But because it kind of like obscures your reality and augments your understanding of what is actually true, it is a bit self-defeating. But to be honest, I think the ego or a healthy sense of, I don't know, what's the word for it? Confidence.
Yeah,
Confidence is
Well,
it's important. It's
well,
important.
this is the thing here,
confidence.
is like confidence is something that it's good to have, but
Yeah,
it's really
not
bad
good
to
to rely
have
on.
if you haven't got the goods to back it up with, meaning that fake confidence, you know, like being like false and fake confidence, yeah, is the equivalent of just talking confidently to an expert about
No.
a topic you know nothing
Confidence
about.
is always fake. Confidence is always fake, even when it's real.
Well,
It's still
no,
fake.
nah,
I
I
It's
I
for your
don't think
ego,
so.
and your ego is an illusion,
Well,
or a
well,
delusion, to be more honest.
all right, but what would you say about this saying or this phrase, yeah, that you know, fake confidence is loud and in your face, but real confidence is quiet and, you know, silent.
I
And
think what you need to do in reality, like as a slogan, it would work quite well, but because like we said that thing about the opposite thing, right? Now, in reality, you'd have to swap out the word self-confidence with self-assuredness. To be self-assured is different than to being self-confident, because confidence implies some sort of how can I put it? Like you're slightly overextending yourself when you're confident, because you kind of like you're kind of like going with this illusion that you can't fail.
Yeah, but I mean, look,
Until
there must
failure slaps you in your face.
yeah, but there must be some more to it than that, because there's a time and place for that to be useful, beneficial, or good, or whatever. Because there's also such a thing as humility, and there's a time and a place when that is useful, good, and beneficial to have. So there must be some, you know, places where one or the other is better.
Yeah, I suppose like being able to switch from one to the other in the perfect timing would be like the optimal human being, but like that's the problem with like the ego. It deludes you and you end up overextending yourself, so you end up being overly confident.
Well, I think it's about having a correct context. If you understand the correct context of your existence or your interplay, then really you can be like, if I go to play football with my mates here and I'm a decent player, I can have a lot of confidence because I'm like one of the better players or whatever. And you know, amongst us, I have confidence on the pitch because I know I'm one of the better players. But if I go and play with a team that is way above my level, then I'm not going to be the one that has all the confidence, isn't it? And that's going to be for good reason. So, you know, like I say, there's a time and a place for it, and it's, you know, it's got its value, but it's got to be appropriate to the situation as well. It's contextual.
If you didn't have confidence, you'd always be second guessing yourself, and you wouldn't even be able to function without wasting a lot of energy thinking about all the possible case scenarios before you actually committed to something. So having confidence, even if it is fake and just a delusional aspect of having an ego, right? It's still very functional. It's still very important to have it.
Yeah, but only
It
up to a
serves a
point.
purpose.
Yeah, but only up to a point, because it will get in the way of you learning. If you consider yourself more proficient in something than you actually are.
You don't learn from being confident and overextending yourself. You learn from actually failing.
You learn from humility. You learn from being corrected and being wrong and shit.
Well,
like,
yeah, the failure is the lesson, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like the confidence has got drawbacks, because even in that basic way, being delusional and over guessing your abilities is a bad thing, and it's actually being put in your place where you have to be brought back down to reality that you actually benefit from much more in terms of making progress. So I think confidence is more useful in like social and like I don't know, stuff to do with romance and the other sex and stuff, women and stuff like that. I think confidence is good in all that sort of stuff, but when it comes to intellectual stuff, I think it's the opposite. I think humility works better.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I need to check. I'm just checking, doing a little sound check because of my headphones. But yeah, like that is one of the biggest drivers. Like Freud even said, the main driver of a human's behavior would be sex, right? So confidence in that respect, like you said, or the fake it till you make it kind of attitude with girls, right, would be a very positive way to move, right? would be very beneficial to actually pretend like you're the most confident and self-assured person in the world, because women actually fall for that. They think, well, what the fuck's this guy got to be so confident about?
Yeah,
Like,
but
there must be
not
something.
not just women.
You know what I mean?
Not just women, bro. I've seen situations where somebody who just doesn't look like they can handle business like that can basically scare the shit out of people who really look like they can handle business like that. And the reason is because the people just can't work out what has he got up his sleeve? What has he got in the background that we don't know about that makes him so confident and so like aggressive or so forward?
We were having the same conversation with Imran the other day. Me, Imran, and Trilla were having a conversation. But basically, it worked out that Trilla didn't have any game whatsoever. Right?
Yeah, because he's
so I was thinking, what is he relying on? He must be relying on his height and his wealth and other aspects of.
I'll tell you what he's relying on. Khan, I'll tell you what he's relying on. He's relying on the fact that he would never ever turn up anywhere ever in a physical place in public.
With girls.
With girls, he's a complete failure, bro. He's not relying on nothing. He has to pay for it. That's basically it.
No, just because he pays for it, don't mean he don't get girls in real life.
No, but he only pays for it. Let's be honest.
But anyway, the point was that Imran was an overthinker, and he was heavily relying on the gift of the gab and basically trying to convince people that.
He says he's super attractive as well. Remember he said that his mum told him he's the most attractive guy in the world.
Be honest, we have seen him. Yeah, so you know that's blag, innit? He's proper blagging that bit.
Wee Man there is exposing the fact that I'm actually not that good at football. Or I wasn't as a kid anyway. And one of my brothers was a proper superstar, like a proper natural, do you know what I mean? So
you must have hated him.
Nah, why would I hate him? He was just good at all sports. But Wee Man remembers him still. So yeah, my little bro there was a superstar, every sport. He was just good at everything, naturally. Not me though.
You know, there's a genetic component to being good at sports. Did you know that?
Is it?
It's to do with motor neuron skills.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Some people just genetically have more of them, so they have better coordination.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure that's true. There's various things like that different people have. Like, what's it called? Some people have got those brown fat cells, isn't it? That Wim Hof guy, and people from his area and his part of the latitude on planet Earth, they have these extra brown fat cells, so they can withstand cold a lot more. They can do cold shock treatments and withstand them a lot better.
Yeah, brown fat basically just has a higher metabolism because it's like it's warm up. Basically, it keeps you warmer.
All right, yeah. So it does the insulation job better.
You're born with it as a child, but you can maintain it. Sort of like you know, like lactose intolerance. Like if you don't ever stop drinking milk, you'll never get lactose intolerance, right? And it's the same with the brown fat. Yeah, if you never stop drinking milk, you'll never the lactose intolerance gene will never kick in.
You know what? That's interesting because I used to think I might be lactose intolerant, but then that might be because I used to occasionally drink loads of milk. But nowadays I drink milk every day and I don't have no problem.
It's both parts of, like, both of them things will contribute to your lactose intolerance. Like, there'll be a genetic component because being Indian or from the subcontinent, they have the highest amount of lactose intolerance, genetically speaking.
All right.
A lot of things is genetically determined.
Sorry, Schiffer's in the back, Veli, if you're listening. Sorry, man, didn't notice Schiffer.
Another thing is like alcoholism. If you look at alcoholism, certain races of people who are actually related, but they don't realize they're related, but they still share that same R1 haploid group, namely Punjabis and Irish people. And they're very they're known for being big drinkers, right?
Well, I mean, being a big drinker, like I guess every culture that has drink in its part of its culture.
When we're talking about alcoholism, right, we could say that the French probably drink more alcohol than the British, but they will have less amounts of alcoholism based on their culture of drinking, how they drink.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So you think alcoholism
is about like.
But you're saying that the alcoholism between Punjabis and is due to that
and Russians,
haplogroup.
and even Russians. Yeah, there is that genetic family that they're in.
What about Spanish people? What about South
No.
Americans? They're big drinkers. Mexicans,
No.
they're big drinkers.
No.
Don't have the haplogroup. So then it's not solely
No.
responsible. There's other.
No, I'm talking about
things as
being.
well.
I'm not talking about having a culture of drinking a lot of alcohol. I'm talking about people suffering from substance abuse, right? Using the alcohol
Yeah.
to basically have a substance abuse relationship with the alcohol. Yeah, so there
I
are
think
people,
that's
like I
a
said,
bit
the Italians drink a lot, the
universal.
French drink a lot. Some people drink a lot, but they're not alcoholics. Whereas if we was to point out real alcoholics, we'd be looking at places like Ireland, Scotland, like I said, Punjabis, like they drink a lot. There's some a certain percentage of Turkish people that have the R1 gene that they're really they really have that problem as well. But I think what it is, like what I've understood from it, is that there are different receptors in the brain that release dopamine. So when you look at these people, they're usually from a warrior background where they've had to be able to kind of like really kind of like push themselves to the limits of what humans could do in terms of
You think
bravery.
that's connected to the alcoholism in the modern day?
Also,
You're
I
a
think that
mental
is.
case, bro.
No,
You're an
seriously,
actual
but
mental
also,
case.
that's not a mental thing, bro. Listen, and
That is a
also when you
mental
look
thing.
at certain sports that white people do that black people don't do, like
Yeah.
throwing themselves out of airplanes, like being a daredevil or a thrill seeker, that to release that dopamine is the same sort of thing as well, right? So a lot of these people do
Don't you think
like
some
have
people are just
a
more in
double-edged
touch with
sword.
their animal instinct?
How do you mean? Animal instincts.
I mean, like,
What
you
do
know,
mean?
some people just got that killer instinct. It's like, I know a lot of boxers, like, for instance, the likes of a Dylan White or whoever, you know, the guy who beat up flipping, what's my man's name the other day? The guy who beat up AJ the other day. Like, this one, I know a few of these boxers and stuff, but I've never been beaten up by none of them. My cousin's a boxer. He's punched me right in the face. I didn't go down. I just fight back. But I'm not a boxer. I've just got the natural animal instincts. I will tackle you. I might just strangle you, bro. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I'm saying, like, you gotta think there's some people who are just naturally, like, you know, like a person you might shoot them and they just walk through bullets.
Right.
Because they
I've seen that in a
got
few
them
movies.
natural and yeah, when we look at certain things, certain sports and stuff, like, don't get me wrong, the people who's playing it, they are good. But what you'll notice is, like, for instance, Lionel Messi might be wicked at football. He might be the best ever, yeah? But he ain't the most skillful person with a ball at his feet. In the sense of, there's people who can do more football tricks than Lionel Messi, and they ain't footballers. They ain't even professional. Do you feel where I'm coming from? It's just natural animal instincts that allow them to have those abilities.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like being able to hold your nerve in the face of a bit of pressure is very important in all sports and all performances in general. Like even if you wanted to be an actor or stand up or sing in front of the whole of Wembley Arena, you'd have to be able to hold your nerve.
And some people are just naturally able to flip in to take more punishment than others. Some are naturally able to dish out more. It's not a thing where they went to the gym, you know. It's just natural.
No, it's true. No, you're right. That
Yeah,
is
but
a
I
very
think,
specific thing of your pain threshold. Everyone has.
I think though that a lot of people have got the natural potential to be pretty decent at most things, but these levels of being a world-class champion, that is where the prerequisite is a lifetime of training, and then the genetics edges people out one way or another. But the lifetime of training is still a factor, meaning that someone with a natural ability might be doing a little bit less work than someone who's got a little bit less natural ability, but putting in more work in the gym and stuff.
I don't know if you guys have ever been into Mr. Olympia and bodybuilding and that, but there's one guy called Kai Green who used to go up against Phil Heath, and his saying was, hard work beats talent every time. Right?
Yeah, of
Meaning
course.
that you might be genetically gifted, because Phil Heath's nickname was The Gift because he was so genetically gifted, right? But but Kai Green saying, I don't care how genetically gifted you are. I'm going to beat you, and I'm going to do it through hard work and determination. So his saying was, hard work beats talent every time. And then Phil Heath come up with a reply one, and he goes, yeah, but that's until the talent starts putting in the work. And that was it.
That's
Game
true.
over.
That's true.
Then
Yeah,
it's
but that's
game.
exactly the point. What I was
So
saying.
bringing it back
That's
to what you obviously that's what I'm saying it.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, because it's sticking to the facts of the situation. And that is exactly what it really is in real life for all of us.
Of
is
course.
that we were born with a given potential of genetics, meaning that if we didn't get good food and good vitamins and good exercise when we were young, we'd all be fat, lazy, and disabled almost.
No. I wouldn't say all. Some people could
Yeah,
eat
we
till
would
the
all.
cows come out and they'll never get fat.
No, but I'm just saying, like, look, if you didn't have basic stuff like calcium for your bones and the right nutrients for your, body to develop even on a basic level, you wouldn't have developed on a basic level. Yeah. So we had to have a prerequisite of getting some decent, food in our upbringing as children, and then further to that is throughout our lives. So, and more to that is the fact that we've been exposed to exercise, sports, knowledge about our bodies, living in a society where there is a culture of fitness and exercise and sports and stuff, But this thing of exploiting the genetics,
See, the thing is, though, there was an argument, yeah? Do people do things because they're good at them, right? Or do they just get good at things that they like, right? So it can be nature or it can be nurture, right?
Yeah, but there
So
must be such a
either.
big overlap there. Like the thing is, the reason
No,
why
listen
you
to what
like
I'm gonna say to you.
something.
There's certain situations, right, where nurture just does not come into it unless you've got the nature as the base,
Nah,
as
I
the
don't-
foundation, right?
I
Listen, let
think
me give you the examples. Number one, fencing. You know, fencing, the sport of fencing.
Mm.
Yeah, they're saying if you don't have a certain amount of motor neurons within that puts you within a certain bracket of human beings, you cannot be a high level elite competitor in fencing, because the precision required, right, to actually hit a tiny little dot from about a mile away with a sword that's wobbly, right, is so difficult that basically the process of getting good at that sport filters out the people that don't have those genes, right?
Yeah,
likewise with
but-
marathon runners, right? All the top marathon runners come from one particular village in Kenya, and they're saying that the fact that there is a genetic component cannot be denied.
Yeah. But the thing is that the people wouldn't know that they were limited in those ways at the early stages of getting into the sport.
They would be filtered out. Like the process of getting
Yeah,
good
yeah,
or
yeah,
competing
they'll
would
be filtered
filter them
out,
out. Right. So if you
Yeah.
don't come into the runnings, you don't come into the trophy positions, you're just going to go to another sport, right? Do you know what I mean? It's like you can't go from being a jockey to being a sumo wrestler. Like the genetics is too different. Like, but you can go from, let's say, being a soccer star, a footballer, to, like, I don't know, being something quite similar to football. Like, I don't know, tennis or whatever.
Tennis is not similar to football.
But like I'm saying, the physicality involved wouldn't be that different.
What
Like,
you
I've
reckon,
got friends that
boxing
I've got
to
friends that
wrestling,
are-
maybe?
Yeah, like, but I've got friends that are good footballers, right? They've always been good into football. Most of them either play table tennis or tennis on the side. Like, man's like, oh, I'm going to play tennis with my girl. Like, a lot of these footballers, like, they pick certain sports that you can tell that it just fits in with their football type of metabolism. You know, like stop-start metabolism. Like with soccer, you're running in short bursts and stopping, and like you have to have a certain degree of physicality to stand up to people. Like there is a sort
But
of
you don't do
genetic
that
profile
not in tennis.
you
You
could
don't do that in
use.
tennis. There's no
Yeah, but in
there's no
tennis, it's
contact in
stop-start.
tennis.
It's stop-start,
Yeah,
right? No, but
it's
you have to
like-
run up to the net and kind of like, you know, you have to be able to
Yeah.
have a big, you know.
Yeah, but
a
you
big
don't touch
presence.
each other. But you don't touch each
No,
other.
but you have to have a presence in front of each other. You can't be cowering in front of the person in front of you.
No, what difference does that make? Like,
What, in tennis? Like, there is
Yeah.
a boldness, like, where you're getting balls blasted at you, right? You have to be able to stand there. I found, anyway, that
yeah, no, there's clarity in tennis and football in like that jumping
even
around.
Phil
and
Heath, that I
quick-
mentioned, Phil Heath, he wanted to be a basketballer, but he just weren't really cut out for it. So he switched from basketball to bodybuilding. So like certain sports, I think that, you know, like they do sort of have that crossover element.
Yeah,
But,
obviously,
like,
some
there's
obvious
certain that-
ones.
Yeah, there's some
But
that
I wouldn't
don't,
have said
right?
football and tennis were an obvious
No?
one.
Oh, just freestyling that one, bro.
Yeah.
Can't always get them right.
No, it's just that because you stuck with it for so long.
I was exploring it.
Yeah. You know what I find,
Yes.
Kanye, that look, you say a lot of random things, yeah, and then sometimes they're quite like nearly right.
They pan out.
Yeah, sometimes they're nearly right. Rarely very accurate. I mean, unless it's in your field of certain
To be
things
honest,
about
kids,
nutrition.
the reason why I'm not that accurate of a person is because I'm more of a qualitative person than a quantitative person. So, like for example, if I go into a shop and buy something,
No, but then
and they
you
give
should
me
be more
my
accurate.
change. No. Qualitative people concentrate
Yeah, we're
more
talking
on
about
the texture of the conversation, right? They'll put emphasis on certain things. They'll like elucidate certain things. But when it comes to the actual numbers, the maths, the statistics, like they're very weak at that. Do you see what I mean? So
no,
there are people that I've got friends that are very like they're very numerical. So like for example, when they buy something in a shop, before the guy's even given them the change, right? They know how much they're expecting to get. They've worked it out in their head already. But I'm standing there handing over my money thinking, why is he looking over
I
there?
wonder.
What's he doing? When's he coming over? Or when he comes over, what am I going to say to him? I'm looking at more of the quality of the interaction rather than the quantity of what's actually happening. Like I'm not really like a thingy person, like accurate. I'm more stand on principles. Like for me, principles are more important, or laws, yeah, or mechanisms are more important than actual like pinpoint accuracy of
Yeah,
things. Because in
yeah,
a normal
like
conversation, how much accuracy do you really need?
no, but we're all like that, innit? Like nobody remembers exact dates and times of
No,
everything.
some people that
Yeah, I'm
like
just
their
saying
brains.
that.
You know that they say, I don't know if you know, but they say that people who are good at drawing usually aren't good at maths, and people who are good at maths usually aren't good at drawing. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, that's what they say. Like I remember I had a maths teacher, and he was a right dickhead, like proper arrogant prick. And I thought, let me bring something in from my portfolio, innit? And I showed him like some of my artwork, and he was like proper knocked out. He was like, "Wow, you're fucking really good." That's when I
What?
dropped it
Because
on
he
him.
was shit.
I said to him, "Yeah, because you're shit, you think that that's really good." And I got to him, "It's the same with the maths. You're really good at maths, and I'm really shit at maths, but it don't actually make you a better person than me." He goes, "What are you saying, that I'm just gifted at maths?" I go to him, "Yeah, basically, like you're just gifted at maths, innit? Like, and you're just milking it. Like you put in all this hard work and you put in all this thinking and brain power, but it's not. You just actually see numbers, like real things. Like you're just
So
actually a numerical person."
like
Do you know
like
what
a
I mean?
nerd.
So
Yeah.
I proper upset him as well.
All right, you made your point. You
Like,
brought in props and everything.
yeah, like I planned it out and everything. Like I do shit like that, innit?
I think he really hurt you. I think he really hurt you
No,
by
he was no. You
trying
don't
to teach you
understand to
maths.
the extent of how arrogant this guy was. He was like ridiculously arrogant. Like even like between lessons, when you see him walking around, he'd just be swanning around like he was like some proper G. And I was like, right,
Why?
this geezer really thinks he's superior. Like, he really thinks
Why?
he's
He's
better
just a
than everyone.
teacher. Like he's just a
No, but I
teacher.
couldn't work out what it was about him. But he was like borderline when it comes to the maths and that. He was like borderline genius. Like it was so easy for him. Like he was just a maths teacher getting paid good money for doing something that he could just do with his eyes closed.
Yeah, but
Right?
wasn't he meant to be
It's
communicating
like the
it to
equivalent.
you?
It's like the equivalent of a pretty girl, right? A pretty girl, right? Not all of them, but some of them will live this charmed life where they act so superior. And when you think to yourself, why are they acting superior? Then you realize, wait a minute, you've just had a charmed life. No one's ever said no to you. No one's ever upset you. No one's ever cussed you out. Like you've not lived the things that we've lived that makes us like multifunctional, dynamic people. Like you just like living on like this cloud of perfection. Do you know what I mean? And even she probably wouldn't realize that that's the case. Like she wouldn't realize that she's coming across so arrogant. But there are people like that. There are people like that. Like, you could live your whole life, right? Like they say, you learn something new every day, right? But the thing that you learned on day 500 could have been the lesson that someone else learned on day 1. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's just down to luck, what order you learn things in. Like, for example, with me, I learned about narcissists and that. Well, no, I mean, it's like some random kind of like aspect to it, right? Because
I mean, it
only
is up
recently
to a
found
point.
out about
Up to a point, but
like, I only
then at some
recently
point you
found
take
out
charge
about,
of your life, innit?
I only recently found out about narcissism and personality disorders. And I was speaking to my mate from uni, like he's got Asperger's syndrome, like he's not 100%, right? And even he knew about it. And he was going to me, what? You've never heard of narcissism? I got to him, nah. I got to him, the only thing I know about narcissism is a Salvador Dali painting where it's something to do with Narcissus. And it's like there's an egg with a crack in it and there's like a flower growing out of the egg. But then when you look at it from a distance, it's not actually an egg, it's someone's head. So then you think to yourself, okay, so it's about a person's head that's got a crack in it. And what's the flower growing out of the fucking, out of the crack, right? So I don't know if you know the works of Salvador Dali, but that's one it's one of the more famous ones. So I come across that word, Narcissus. So I had to look it up, but it must have been so long ago that I forgot about it. But then when I remembered what it was, I was like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. I've come across this word before. I just didn't investigate the meaning of it or how it was relevant to my life and how like you could be living with people who have narcissism, like undiagnosed narcissism, and you would never know it. You could be living with sociopaths and you'd never know it. Like they just basically learn to emulate normal people because they don't actually have the depth of character to be able to have empathy.
Yeah, but I think with a lot of mental health things, yeah, that it's something that is basically universal, meaning that we all suffer from a tiny bit of OCD.
You mean it's a spectrum, right?
Yeah, it's a spectrum, and we're all on it.
Yeah.
And some people suffer more than others from it.
Yeah.
I think that's what the case is. Like every human being has various types of OCDs and various types of autisms. And
Definitely.
other health
I agree.
disorders. Yeah,
I agree. There is the autistic spectrum, right? So ADHD would probably be like on there somewhere.
Yeah, but the thing is that some people have a lot more of it than others, but we all suffer from it, and it's just only because there wasn't these things weren't known in the past, and then we found out about them, and then the classic like extreme ones were able to be categorized, pigeonholed, reasonably successfully, and
diagnosed.
as more and more diagnosed and everything, but as more and more research has been done in this, it is beginning to look like the fact that, like we said, it's a spectrum and we're all on it, and we've just been noticing the extreme ones. In fact, up until 50, 60 years ago, we didn't even know there was such mental health illnesses. And then we found out that there's some extreme cases. Now we found out everybody suffers from a lot of them to some extent.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's quite interesting because with me, I'm a bit of a manipulative person. And if I have to work out like manipulative person, manipulative. Right, so any kind of advantage I can get over somebody, I would like to kind of like maximize on it. So if I have to work out that someone has a pattern of behavior or a narcissistic or a predictable personality, I will kind of use that in my ability to deal with them. Because being slightly ADHD, it means that it's very good at, like if you're ADHD like me, you would have very good abilities of pattern recognition. Right, but at the same time, you'd also have a very hard time reading people or like trying to know what people are communicating to you. So with me, I kind of over focus on that, and I kind of like I'm really friendly, so people can kind of like trust me, be a bit nicer to me, and let me sort of learn more about them, which is like a coping mechanism, really.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but like what you said there about you trying to use everything you can to your advantage, against someone, almost is how you kind of put it. Yeah, I think that's all fair and well to a large extent. Yeah, but I think even before that, what a person needs to do is manage their own kind of autisms, OCDs, biases, emotions.
It's like helping you function better or worse. If it's making your life difficult or if it's making your life easier. Right, because there are certain traits of OCD that
but the same way that
your communicative skills or whatever it may be.
Yeah, but the same way that you plan on, exploiting these aspects of other people that you pick up on, people are doing this to you all day, every day, and they might be better at it than you. So the most important thing and first thing to do would be to, manage your own house, if you know what I mean, your emotions and your biases and your OCDs and your autisms and ADHDs, and then you'll be in a much better position to manipulate others.
Well, really, you're your first patient, right? Because if you're self-diagnosed, you'll be understanding more about these things from criticizing or critiquing your own behavior. So
Yeah.
you're your first victim in terms of
Yeah.
manipulation.
Yeah, I guess you are, isn't it? You're the easiest
Yeah.
person to fool to start with.
Yeah, exactly
So
that.
you've been
So you
playing
well.
you've been playing tricks on yourself since
Yeah.
the minute you were conscious.
100%. When you realize that your brain is like your mind is your own worst enemy, then you have to employ tactics to kind of like counter that.
Well, it's your own worst enemy and it can be your best friend, but it's how you handle it.
Yeah, it's a
Handling
relationship.
Yeah, but handling your mind is a very important and fundamental thing, man. Because your mind goes through a lot of crazy shit, bruv. Like, you know, and sometimes there's a very dark aspect to your mind as well, and like, you know, it can be very unsettling. But you have to be able to handle and manage that. But yeah, you sound a bit weird, bruv, telling me you're a manipulative person that seeks to exploit people's psychological weaknesses.
But it's because it's a thingy, isn't it? It's like it's due to my own insecurities and my own lack of ability that I've had to employ those tactics like a defense mechanism. It's like if he was a normal person, he would never think about doing things like that. But if you feel like you need to gain ground or you've lost ground already, then you might be like more motivated to kind of investigate different ways of dealing with scenarios. Like what I always say, scientific, that, you know, like with a computer, there's like two levels of memory. There's like the ROM and the RAM, right?
Yeah.
So one is like the ability to store information, and the other one is the ability to kind of interpret the information or like
Process.
crunch the numbers, process it. Yeah,
Pro-
exactly.
yeah.
Thank you.
So RAM is like the amount you can process at any one time. ROM is how much you can store in the
Right.
backlog in the long term memory.
Right. So there's people that can store a lot of information. I have a friend, Tony, he's actually got a photographic memory, and he appears to be highly intelligent. But when it comes to
'Cause he can-
problem solving, he's not really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's a different type of intelligence. Yeah, that's why I mean
Right.
memorizing things, like it's a very, I don't know, old school kind of
Yes.
idea of measuring
They call it
intelligence.
parrot fashion.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like what functionality is there? I mean, it's like with people that win quizzes. Yeah, they like answering loads of general knowledge questions and getting shitloads right. It is impressive, and it's like someone reading the whole Quran, like 30 books. You know, reading it
They've
beginning
got
to
several
end
kids
by
that can
memory.
do that.
Yeah, but it is an impressive feat. But at the end of the day, what does that person understand about reality? What does that person understand about human beings? What does that person know about anything in nature?
No, but they have a tool at their disposal that, if used correctly, can help them. But it's not just an automatic ticket to success.
Well, if you was to ask me, that somebody who memorized any single book, like you could choose any book, you could get me 1,000 people who've memorized 1,000 different books, and I still think that a normal person who's educated himself in various different fields, interacted with the world, explored nature, spent time with people, you know, had pain and suffering in their life and around them, I think they would be just a much better, well-rounded and more intelligent human being.
Definitely. I agree. And I think that's the reason why the human brain doesn't bother remembering every little thing that you've experienced. Because I think you have the capacity to do that. The human brain definitely does. But the functionality of that would be pointless.
Yeah, and you know what, I read
a
it.
dream so accurate, right? Just based on your memories, that would convince you that you was like really experiencing it. Like you can
know
meet
what?
people in your dream that you've never met before because your brain just designed this whole new face, right?
Nah, your brain can't design new faces. That's apparently that's a fact. No, it can't. Apparently, anybody you've ever seen in your imagination or in a dream is based on a person that you've seen in real life. No, check it. Check it. This has been. I'm not sure if it's true, but this is something that the consensus of experts constantly keep saying, that your brain cannot make up faces. Anybody you see in a dream is somebody you've seen. Is based on somebody you've seen in real life.
I could make up a word on the spot, right? If I can make up a word that's similar to another word that's a
Yeah,
real
but
word. That's not
look,
made up,
so
right?
I'm not the
How
one
can I
saying
make
it.
up a face?
I'm not claiming to be the one that has proved that, but I'm just saying that that seems to be what they all say constantly for a while. Anyway, what I was going to say to you is that, funnily, we were talking about this, yeah, but I literally, in the last couple of days, read the statistic that it's actually 25% of people whose brains are capable of memorizing every fact and detail about their life.
That's a lot.
Like,
That's a big number.
yeah. Yeah, meaning that there's a lot of people. You know, I thought it was just that Sheldon thing where he remembers every single moment of his life since the minute he became conscious. Yeah, and that's a big part of his intelligence. But he's also got that thing of, you know, exploring and interest in the field and, you know, studying and building on what he's learning. So it's not just, you know, the memory thing. But that is a big part of why he happens to be so intelligent. But apparently they said recently that I read this like literally the other day, that it's actually 25% of people who, if they were to train their brains or were to use their brains in particular that way, they could pretty much remember everything that's ever happened to them ever since they became conscious.
That's such a huge number. I think that's mad.
Yeah. But it's just that people don't really think about it or put their brain through the paces to find out that their brain can do that or does do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine how many people there are out there.
In normal circumstances, who would even like think to contemplate such a thing? It's like really and truly, how is it helping you in your life? Like, what
I mean,
function
like,
would it serve?
they probably are people that maybe it does benefit. They might all be somebody who is in some way or another, them having a really good memory, you know, helps them in some way. But like you say, they've never gone into it.
You know, they say that thing about in times of like extreme shock and danger, your whole life flashes before your eyes. And they're saying that the purpose of that is basically for you to find a similar situation that you got out of previously, that we might be able to have some like crossover information that could help you with this situation.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah,
apparently that's the reason for it.
Could be that, you know, that would make sense. But then that means that near-death experiences, that should also happen as well. Like basically all times when you get to near-death or like danger.
The near-death experience, I think. Maybe you're right. Yeah.
It must be every time you're in like where it just seems like this is going to be the end now. That should happen all the
People
time.
do say that though, don't they? That my whole life flashed before my eyes. Like they do say it.
Yeah, but I think I've felt that experience, and it's not your whole life flash before your eyes. It's just a few vague memories, especially old ones of your childhood, that flash through by your eyes. And sometimes I don't think it's even in order,
Yeah,
like
your brain's
chronologically.
like randomly.
Yeah, it's just a random few bunches of memories that help you. Like, oh yeah, I was a little kid, and I remember that one. Oh yeah, the ice cream fell. Oh yeah, the kid stole my bike. Oh yeah. Okay, graduated from college. Oh yeah, got married, and then that's it really. Like 4 or 5 snapshots.
I know what you mean though. Yeah, it's true.
So, but yeah, I never thought of that before. But that is interesting actually, because the brain would.
Like, imagine you fell off a building and halfway down, like before you hit the ground, it's like, oh shit, I owe Khan a tenner.
That'd be happy.
Yeah, but you'd be like, why is that the last thought that crossed through my mind just as I died? Not thinking of Khan.
Yeah,
like
but the thing is,
like, why the fuck did you think that?
Yeah, no, you won't be kicking yourself because you'll be dead. The fact that it was your last thought, you won't have any opinion about. You won't have any opinion on what your last thought was. So what else, man? What are you up to?
I'm in the gym, bro. I'm on the cross trainer.
Oh, is it? Yeah, gym. Yeah, good on you, bro. Got up and went out to the gym today.
Yeah, bro. Like, I had a blood test recently, and they were telling me that my thing is very high, my hematocrit. So I have to kind of like hematocrit. You know what hematocrit is?
Nah.
Okay. Basically, it's to do with the thickness of your blood or the viscosity of your blood, right? So if you have high hematocrit, you're more likely to have a stroke. You have to do things to counter it, like drink lots of water, a lot of cardio and things like that.
It's what, to thin your blood?
Yeah, to thin it, at the counter. Because obviously lifting heavy weights all the time to stick in your blood. And it can come up in your blood test that if you pass
is that what you do?
number, they're like, no, you need to chill with the...
You lift a lot of heavy weights?
Well, yeah.
All right.
Because I had a knee injury. I'd done my ACL, so I couldn't really do any cardio. So I was relying on the weightlifting.
You should do. You should try and do swimming. You can always do cardio in the water.
Yeah, swimming's good. I like a bit of swimming.
It's just that it's not so convenient.
Nah,
I
all
don't mind
fat
the
people like
bullshit.
swimming.
I don't mind the
All
bullshit
fat,
of
listen,
changing rooms.
fat,
I don't like the
fat
changing
people love
rooms.
swimming, yeah, because it makes you feel 70% lighter than you are.
And no one can see your fat body in the water.
Well, they can if you're that
Well,
fat,
they're kind of just standing over you,
but they can't
people
see.
that are
They
the
can't see
same-
exactly the rolls and the flabs and
Yeah, they
you know,
can't see, like, it's like blurry.
the details. Yeah, they can see the blurry blob,
Yeah.
and yeah, but that's the same as you being dressed anyway. That's
Yeah,
how it is.
exactly. Exactly that.
Yeah, that's yeah. You think, mate?
Yeah, man, swimming's all right. I prefer this cross trainer though. Cross trainer is so good. It's like there's hardly any impact to your body. You can go for
Yeah,
hours.
the smooth fluid motion one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love
Nah,
it,
that's good, man. That's a good sign. You got to be careful because if you are a bit heavy and you're doing weights and stuff as well, you know, there's a lot of pressure on your joints and your bones and that. So, like, things in the water are very good because you
Yes.
avoid all that. And
buoyancy.
yeah, and cross trainer and you know, like
Yo, just do roids, fam.
roids.
Just do roids. And start raging.
But Jupiter said roids ain't good for you.
Huh?
Right, she's been using them.
Jupiter said roids ain't good for you.
Jupiter said what?
Roids ain't good for her.
Roids ain't good
They're
for
not
her.
good for her health. They're not
She's
good
probably
for her
talking
health.
about hemorrhoids, bruv.
They made her face blow like nothing. Apparently her face just blew up one day. Yeah, I think there comes an age where you know you're not going to have kids anymore. You might as well go on roids, innit? Who cares about?
Is it? Why is that an issue?
Well,
Well, if you go on roids, it cuts off your own testosterone, so then you won't be able to have a baby. Especially like there's some testicular shrinkage that happens as well.
That's funny. Man. Who wants to do roids?
Yeah, I really do want to do roids, but I've got needle phobia. Because I wouldn't trust it. Someone turning up with a bottle going, yeah, inject this into your arm. I'd be like, fuck off. I wouldn't trust it at all. That's the only thing. You can get government roids though.
Oh, so it's not even illegal anymore.
No, it's testosterone therapy, TRT. I was telling Banksy he should get it because Banksy was saying that he can't get it up no more. Saying he's getting too old, he can't get it up.
But I thought
So I
this.
said to him, just go on the TRT, bro. Just start
Well,
jabbing.
won't this make it worse?
No. It only makes it worse on the point of producing semen. But your actual libido will increase.
I have no idea about this shit, mate. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, biology is my field more than yours, isn't it?
I don't know if this is biology, mate. This is more like drug taking.
What do you mean? It's biology. Like biology is so amazing because look, we've been talking about so many things that's biology, right? Drug taking, dopamine receptors in the brain, the genetic component in addiction.
No, but tell me this though, yeah. You see this whole thing about steroids, yeah. I've never really looked into it or been interested in it. But how does doing these drugs make your muscles bigger? Like, surely you still have to go and do the training.
Increases
Yeah,
your
you still have to
protein
train.
synthesis. Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what
so
it
if
is,
you-
yeah? It's
so
only,
then, like, you have to train anyway, so you might as well just
listen,
train.
yeah. Basically, yeah, if you was a gifted person in bodybuilder genetics, should we say, yeah, and you took steroids, then that's when you would look mad, didn't it? Like just anyone
yeah.
just taking steroids doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna look mad, but you have more muscle growth than
Yeah, that's true.
All right. I don't get it. I just think like at the end
Oh,
of the
you
day.
know what? Yeah, I just come from someone's house here, and they have had the most bodged up motherfucking job in the world. I was just on my knees in their basement, fucking
Damn.
up to my knees, or fucking
Do
up
you
to
wear
my
knee pads,
fucking
Billy? Do you have them knee
yeah,
braces
yeah.
that
Of course I wear knee
carpenters
pads,
wear?
man.
Yeah.
But the fucking whole basement was wet, man. I'm like, brother, this thing has been bodged to fuck, cause man, it's gonna take bare work.
What did they try and fix it themselves?
Nah, basically, yeah, someone's put unvented cylinder in the basement, but they ain't put the pipe because there's some waste pipes that you need to connect to the unvented cylinder, right? But they've just left the fittings there without any pipe work in it. So the guy keeps saying, like, every time he wakes up, yeah, there's water on the floor in the basement, yeah. I'm like, bro, listen, they ain't even put the waste pipes in on your unvented cylinder. They ain't put D1 and D2 in, no ton dish or nothing on your thing. So every time you wake up, every time you heat water and it expands, it's coming out of your pressure relief valve.
Yeah.
And then dripping over the floor. But also, listen to the worst thing, yeah? They've got an expansion vessel. The expansion vessel, the bubble in it's gone. And it's full of water. Brown water. Brown copper colour water to pussy clout. Are you mad? Yeah, so I'm like, hey, bro, listen. Hold the bucket there, yeah? Hey, hold the bucket there, yeah, cuz. Listen, yeah? Me and this dude, yeah? Like, I said, I felt sorry for him, and I'm like, bro, listen, leave it, I'll do it, yeah? So, I let him come out, the thing mob in it, like, so I had to fucking remove the water from the expansion vessel by putting fucking pressure in there. I got like a pump to put pressure in the expansion vessel. Bro, listen, fucking, it nearly knocked me over, the fucking pressure of the water coming out, holding the bucket in an awkward position. Yeah, me, yeah. I'm like, oh, mate! Brother, yeah, so.
That's the thing, man.
He needs a lot of work doing still, man. So I left him, so he's got like an expansion vessel, a normal expansion vessel. And he just needs his D1 and D2 repiping up. But that's going to be a massive job though, isn't it? Because it's in the basement. There's no waste in the basement. He's gonna need a sump pump or something to rise it to a waste. It's just it's going to cost him a little bit more than it would if it was in the loft, innit? I was saying to him, bro, if this was in the loft, yeah, you could get this done so nice and easily, innit? Because the water's got to fall. But right now, you're in the basement, cuz the water's got to rise to get out of the basement, bro. You heard me, fam?
Yeah,
So,
that's mad though. That sounds like it's a terrible design to begin with. Like,
yeah,
why,
basically, yeah, he got.
why should it go in the
bodged,
basement in the first place?
He told me in the end, didn't it, that he got bodged, didn't it? So he paid the builders to do some job. They done half the job. Then he, like, obviously after I've done all the work or whatever, he's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, the plumbers didn't come back and collect the rest of the money. They left over £1,000 on the table.
Oh,
I'm like, God damn.
They tried some new flex and it didn't work out, and they just left it.
Yeah. Or I think they had an argument with the actual building company, and they didn't finish the work, and they just left.
That can happen, man.
Must have got their money off the building company instead.
But still, though, man, that you can't leave things in those situations. Like, imagine that it caused more problems. Imagine they hadn't noticed it until, I don't know, it caused like other structural problems. Oh well, that's life, innit?
He's bro. Listen, yeah, it's in the basement, innit? So moving the hot water unit, he's got a horizontal as well. You know what I mean? Not even like a fucking. So basically, yeah, what they did, they was putting it down there because they was, I don't know what they was gonna do in it. They was gonna be able to have a pump running to an outside drain in their front driveway or something. I want to see the drawing.
What, straight from the basement?
Yeah, well, they were gonna have to use a pump somehow. They was gonna have to. It was gonna have to be pumped out, innit? Because bro, it will push the water out sooner or later, but it will just have stagnant water sitting in the pipes. It starts to stink when it runs out.
Yeah, that's why water tanks should always be at the top, and they run downwards, and then that way they flush out, and then whatever hasn't been used stays at the top, and everything else is cool until you use it.
I was just saying to him, bro, you need this in the basement, or like Nat, you said, you need this in one of the rooms, like the kitchen or something. So you can run. There's a full for the waste for D1 and D2 in it, like to get out of the.
Well, guess what I heard the other day? Apparently, women here have an average IQ higher than men, but when it comes to super intelligence, there's more super intelligent men than women.
Really?
But on the average IQ of the average person, apparently women are more intelligent than men in general. But just men just win because they've got like a few geniuses in the crew.
Hey, what postcode's E11?
E11, I don't even know. Is it?
E11.
No. E11's going to be like maybe
It's near Wolf.
that way.
It's near
Wolfenstone's
near,
E17, isn't it?
It's near
Leighton, yeah.
What's his
Yeah,
name? I couldn't even hear
E10,
that.
11. Leightonstone and that. Wolfenstone, Leightonstone.
Leighton.
Yeah, it will be later, isn't it?
Listen.
It will be later.
Leighton. I like it. Man said just install the shit properly in the first place. But bro, listen, that's the whole thing about when you're going to someone else's job or someone else's whatever. As soon as I'm not the door, the man's like, oh, I ain't had it, sir. It's been installed 3 years ago and I've never had it serviced. I was like,
You don't know what you're letting yourself in for there.
God damn. Yeah. Then when it's in the basement, I'm like, ah, damn. And then I see him doing some. He got down the stairs, and then at the bottom of the stairs, he's like he jumped straight onto some chair and then onto his knees. I was like, ah, damn.
Like a cat.
Bad,
Like
God
Tom
damn.
Jerry.
So, you know what I mean? Like, why are you managers sitting on your fucking sofa, yeah, with your fucking bag of Doritos open, yeah? Just remember, cuz, yeah, I was in the fucking basement with fucking hot water spilling on my knees, wet, cause someone else didn't do a job properly.
Piss take, bro. Piss take. I hate them ones when you have to clean up for someone else's mess. That's so irritating.
He's lucky anyway, man, because, you know, at least he had his valves in there, because like the expansion vessel had already blown. So if he never had no fucking valves in there, it would have been like a bomb. Yeah, I mean, that shit could have blown up, cuz. Would have blown his whole house up.
Mad. Imagine that.
I just drove past the yard the other day. I can't even remember what ends, but there was someone had a blowout on their thing, or be like fucking nearly took the roof off and one of the rooms out. I drove past it, but the police stopped line. Listen, you need to get your shit installed by professionals, cuz. Pay the money for the right people to do it, innit? Because
It's true. No, they're saying these papers.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Isn't it?
That happened in East London last week, innit? Or a couple of weeks ago.
yeah.
I saw that,
It was last
That
week.
explosion
I
was
drove
massive.
past it.
Is that a house, yeah?
Yeah, I drove past
Yes.
the house.
Yeah, that explosion
Right
was
near
massive, bro.
Rasmussen's.
Oh, all right.
And I used to drive to Rasmus Block. I used to drive past that piece there as well, still. So I was like, Ross. The police are cordoned off the road. Imagine, yeah, I had a job on the same road, innit? The police are cordoned off the road. I was like, I had to drive around, I think, 4 times, man, to find another route to get to the other side of the road. You know, when you keep driving down these side roads, you turn left, turn right, turn left, and then it takes you back to the same road, and you're like, fuck, you know, coming back to the same road like 20 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about this ends.
Yeah, that gas stuff, man. You got to be careful with that shit, bro. Can't be letting just anyone mess around with it.
That was an unvented cylinder. That was water.
What? They
That's
just had
pressurized water.
they just had a canister in their house and that burst.
Well, they had
Well, it was just water. How did it explode then?
yeah, it's an unvented cylinder. Why it's unvented? Because it's pressurized to a certain pressure. And it's got pressure relief valve, temperature pressure relief valve, an expansion vessel. If those three are not installed, it's basically a bomb.
Oh.
Basically a bomb.
Yeah, because that's what happened, right? It blew the fucking house up, man. Blew the house off. Once the pressure gets to a certain thing, well, it will just blow, innit? And,
Yeah, that's
like
dangerous
a blow on an
having
unvented
them
cylinder.
things.
Serious. Serious.
Unvented
Like, took the top of
cylinder.
the fucking house out.
Oh right. Oh right. So the gas
Front
inside.
windows have come out.
The gas
You could see
inside.
clean into the
Obviously.
house.
Yeah, the house kind of like bounced a bit. The roof bounced when the explosion happened, but
There was like a bus going past, innit? The bus camera caught the thing, innit?
yeah, that's where I saw. Yeah, that's what I saw. I think. Yeah. All right. So unvented cylinder. So like they put some gas or any type of gas or substance in a cylinder with no vent, like you say, so it's properly sealed in.
Yeah, unvented cylinder is just water still. But it can work with a gas boiler. You can have a gas boiler with an unvented cylinder. Or just an unvented cylinder with like electric immersions plugged in.
Yeah, but the
Seems
point
like
is
they've
that
had, they've
there's-
had with a gas boiler, but they're saying they have installed the temperature pressure relief valve, and so. And it's got they had the immersions plugged in, and they've not got their valves, and so, and then it's built up to a certain pressure, and then it's blown.
Mm. Well, I remember that they used to do these experiments, yeah, where they would fill some like iron, like really thick iron container full with water, and then they'd freeze it. Yeah, but because they filled it fully, like not even like a single molecule of air, like really filled to the brim, yeah, and then they freeze it, and then because water expands by like 5-10% in size when it's frozen, it would always break the container, no matter how strong the container is or what it's made out of. And if it didn't, then what would happen is it would force the water to stay at a temperature that was not freezing.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. It was some mad
You need
shit.
the water
Like,
pressure to stop the water from freezing. I've seen that
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Because
Oh, actually,
make sure
maybe
you have
it
your
would.
shit serviced, man. Annual services matter, man. You hear me? Annual
Yeah.
services matter, cuz.
No joke, for.
Like the dude, imagine the dude there, the dude that tried to do bare repairs to try to stop the leaks instead of pulling someone out because it was leaking. So he taped up bare bits, done bare things to it. I'm like, cuz, listen.
Why are you doing all the crypto
That's supposed
factor?
to, that's what you're, if any water comes out of these pipes here, that's your warning sign to get someone in to repair. So if you ever see any water coming out of this bit, that bit, and so, call someone in to repair it. Yeah? Don't try and fix it yourself or not, or just try to stop the leak, thinking, it's just a little leak. So there's a reason why the water is dripping out of the tundish.
Mad.
There's your flipping unvented lesson for the day.
Oh, you know what's really weird?
I don't think I got no
I'm
more
having this
unvented cylinders today.
conversation. We're having this conversation, right? Where it's like Veli's field of expertise, and it's me and science, and Carter's not here. And for some reason, I feel like the dumbest person on the panel. And that hasn't happened to me in ages. Carter, jump back on.
You know what?
Use some
Yeah,
people
see
to
what
jump
happens,
on,
yeah?
bro.
With when you go, it's like I went to a job yesterday, yeah, and I was only in there for like 10 minutes or something, yeah. And it was like the guy was here for 15 hours. He was here for 15 hours. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, but he didn't know what to do. if you know what to do when you turn up to whatever the issue is, if it's an issue that you've fixed before specifically, then it's not going to take you as long as someone that doesn't know what the issue is. And furthermore, all the work that the dude done, he done loads of work that I actually didn't need to do, but I done the work that I might have, or had done work that I may have had to do. So he done everything that, all the hard work he had done, innit? You know what I'm saying? Like, so replacing, draining, replacing, doing this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah? He didn't do the simplest thing, but because it's something that if you don't know what it is, or you didn't know that you had to do that, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's true, and especially if you're getting paid like $2,000 a boiler, like you do. That was the best thing I've ever heard.
Hey, that was sick, like. Trust me. Hey, that's better than Vellies on steroids.
Wait, imagine he's getting $2,000 a boiler. What kind of van would you be driving right now? Just like bare diamonds on it and shit. Pimped out.
Yeah, I would just employ people with it instead. But
yeah, it's true.
I'll give you $5 a boiler instead, innit? Yummy.
Hey, Wakan, is it busy at the gym today?
No, surprisingly dead. And like in this gym, like, because it's a fitness gym, the cardio section is usually packed. Yeah. I'm all speaking loud and everything. You lot know me, innit? I speak loud all the time.
That's what you want, cuz, man. When you get to the gym,
how come you don't seem out of breath?
Yeah, cuz.
Because I'm doing steady state cardio.
Yeah, it sounds like you're walking. That sounds like a little bit
steady state cardio.
Like you did uphill walking, yeah?
No, cross trainer. What's it called?
I never gone that fucking cross trainer. I fucking hate the cross trainer. I always just go.
Some people hate it. I love it. Some people do hate it though. I've got friends that won't do it.
Do you just like push yourself once from one side of your body and then let the momentum swing your arms back and forth?
But you're running on air. Like you're, what did he say? I missed it. Sorry, man. I thought he was being serious. Did you say it?
Yeah, did you hear that, Carl? What he said? He said you just push one side of your body and then the momentum makes the other side of the body move.
Yeah, there is a degree of momentum. It's true. There is a degree of momentum. He knows already, anyway. There is a degree of momentum.
No, because you said you got on the cross trainer about 20-30 minutes ago, bro. And then even now, you haven't taken the deep breaths the whole time. You've been chatting and talking.
I'm doing thingy training, heart rate training.
Nah, but what that shows is that your heart ain't doing nothing, bro. It's not doing no work.
No, I'm not trying to train my
It's like, you know, when you, Belly, you know, like you swing a pendulum.
Yeah, that's steady state cardio.
I'm not trying to train my
You're not doing cardio.
It's true. That steady state cardio, though, it doesn't make you get a bad high heart rate, though, innit? It's like you're a little bit out of breath or short of breath.
Bro, you're not doing nothing. Bro, you're not doing nothing. Let me tell you the physics. You have a pendulum. You push it to one side, it swings back the other side. Now it keeps swinging for about another 20 minutes by itself. Yeah, that's what you're doing.
What you're saying is actually irrelevant because the point is to keep your heart rate elevated for a certain period of time. So it doesn't really matter if you're doing something or not. As long as your heart thinks you are.
The talking is what's doing that.
Maybe. But if you could lose weight talking, I'd be thin by now.
Nah, but what I would say though, yeah, is at least
that is how you lose the fat, though, isn't it? Most of it is aspirated as air, isn't it?
Yeah, from your mouth, yeah. But one thing I would say that you do get from that is you do give your body the range of movement that that it provides. So at least it is like stretching. I'd call it a type of stretching and moving, but not cardio.
No, I wouldn't call it cardio.
What are you banging today? You banging some weights today, yeah?
I'm gonna do my 1 hour on here, and then I'm gonna come back in the evening and do some weights. Yeah, I'll do some weights, and then I'll do a bit of walking, like uphill walking.
How far is the gym from your house?
No, I drive to the gym.
Yeah, but how far is it? How many minutes walk?
Like 5 minutes.
You would do more exercise if you walk there and back than you do at the gym.
You should walk there, man.
Bruv, Bruv, you do
That's
more
what I will
exercise
do
in that 10
all the
minutes
time.
walking
I only
than
drive
you
gym
do
if I'm going to one
on
of
the
the bar
thing.
gyms, man. If it's to the gym in Greenwich, then that's walking.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm only
Should
joking,
go on,
man.
innit?
Big up yourself for going gym and, you know what I mean, having a routine and that.
Far. If
That's
I'm
good
going
for
to
you.
a far one, if I'm going to be
I'm
the man
starting
that
my
was
new
one of East
routine now.
London.
It's my routine.
Right.
These machines are pissing me off. For some reason, it just turns itself off. Like, what a shit machine.
Has it got
Why
a
it
weight limit on it?
What? It turned itself off? You
Yeah,
saying
like,
you weren't moving? You weren't moving for like half hour or something?
all I do is I turn it on, I'll press start, and it should just be without a program.
Hey, Khan, listen,
It-
I'm outside the
it
shop
thought you were
right now,
dead.
yeah? It's
Where are
called
you?
Khan G Kebabish. Khan G Kebabish.
Khan G, you know. Not just Khan, but Khan G. I went fully Ali G.
Kebabish.
Kebabish, that's a good little franchise they got, Kebabish. They got a few shops.
You know what I heard, yeah, that is apparently if you imagine yourself doing exercise, yeah, and you really picture it and think about it, apparently that builds your muscles.
I've heard it. Yeah, I've heard it. I don't know how true
Like
it is, but I've heard
fucking,
that.
what's his name? Alice in the fucking Yellow Brick Road. Just click the heels
I don't know. I don't know how it works. But you have to spend a lot of time thinking about it. You have to think about it and really picture it and that. Yeah. But
Really think
that's
about
what.
it. You have to really think about it.
Yeah, you have to train.
Don't just think about it. You have to really think about it.
Yeah, they're the ones where you got to look at how they done the study and everything, because that sounds like bogus.
Well, the only way to isolate that would be to make a group of people do exercise and then force them to not think about doing exercise, and then another group of people to think about doing exercise but force them to not do exercise, and then measure their muscle growth over a period of time. And also have a control group in both sets as well. So that would be the only way to do it, and that is possible to do. So it would be possible to provide actual,
Surely there's
certified
probably been a
evidence.
test like that already being carried out.
Yeah, and that's probably why someone said it, because I did actually read this. I just find it funny. But yeah, I was just thinking that it must be so hard to really isolate the sort of people that, how could you monitor someone and see whether they actually do, the way, that some people have got these like habits where they tap they shake their leg while they're sitting, or they tap their feet or something.
Oh,
And
you mean what's it called?
It's like me.
There's
like
a
me.
measure for that.
It's like how much energy do you exert?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
use From, and they sit there. I do that quite a lot in the store as well. Shaking my leg when I'm sitting down.
I think it's
Yeah.
TEE, total energy
My right
expenditure.
leg.
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah. See, there's things like that come into
You know
play.
what?
Which
I've stopped
you
doing it for a second,
know
but
about.
now you said that, I fucking just started doing it again. What the fuck,
Yeah, I never used to do it, yeah, but one of my best mates, yeah, he always used to do it, and I don't know, like I just sometimes do it as well. I don't know why, but kind of just do.
To be honest, like walking's the best thing, innit? You're walking all day. Like if you're doing a job where you're walking all day, you'll burn much more calories than going to the gym for 1 hour and then not doing nothing all day.
Oh, yeah. My mum, my wife's mum, are some fucking walking experts. I'm like, God damn, when we're telling our stories about back in the days when we had to walk here, there, and everywhere. Yeah. They love a walk.
I think everyone goes through that phase, innit? That walking phase. Where you've got a few good friends that keep you company and you can just go on some long ass walks. And then like, especially when you start hitting the zooks and that and you're smoking a bit of weed and you're going on some long ass walk, bro, it just seems that like it's the best thing you could be doing. I used to love doing that. Going on huge walks, because that when you're smoking, wherever you're smoking, if you're smoking, I don't know, on a park bench even, sooner or later someone's gonna walk past, give you a dirty look, or you have to worry about like, oh, we've been here for too long. But if you're walking and you've got a couple of loot strapped already, that could turn out into a good little adventure.
You know, speaking of walking, yeah, I think I've noticed something in my life, yeah, and I wonder if you guys have noticed it as well, yeah. But I'm of the opinion that fat people can't walk in a straight line, and I've noticed this since I was a little kid. I've noticed this since I was a little kid, yeah. No, but fat people especially so. No, but fat people find it more difficult. Fat people find it more difficult, and I think the reason is because when they swing that much weight from side to side, you know, when you walk, like, you know, if you got like you know, the threads from your hoodies thing dangling, they always swing from left to right, like perfectly balanced, isn't it? So I think when you swing your weight to walk from each leg to leg, I think fat people they're swinging so much weight that there's like, you know, this they can't control and make and perfect execute it perfectly.
It's like the same when you're weightlifting, right? If you lift a heavy weight, your big muscles will kick in, but the small little auxiliary muscles won't. They will get bypassed. Whereas if you lift a lighter weight,
I think the heavier the weight, the more muscles get involved, brother, and the more extent they get involved too.
That's not necessarily true.
No, well, I might be wrong, but I think that would be true.
No, it's not, because your body has a mechanism where it stops itself from getting harmed. So small muscles.
No, I mean, I think you could position your body and focus your muscles in different ways, but I think naturally, the heavier the thing you do, the more muscles will engage.
If you used a lighter weight to start with and basically recruited the maximum amount of muscle fibers and then progressively overloaded them, yeah, you could do it that way. But if you just jumped in straight to a heavy weight and started squatting it, for example, there's certain muscles that would not kick in deliberately to stop themselves getting injured.
Muscles don't have a conscious decision to get engaged or not.
Central nervous system. What do you mean? You've got central nervous system.
I found that squat with a barbell, squat in the hack machine, or with the perfect squat machine. 3 different squats. That squat with a barbell kicks the shit out of you.
Yeah. Compared
squat
to what?
With a hack machine. Yeah. Squat with a hack machine puts more on just fires in it. Like, it's like fire. It's like.
Yeah. But that's to do with your posture.
Squat machine. Yeah. Squat.
That would be to do with your posture, isn't it?
Doesn't feel as heavy as barbell squat. Well, that's me personally. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but free weights would always be heavier, innit? Yeah, because the mechanism that's holding the thing in place means that it can only go straight up and straight down because it's locked within a framework of metal that stops it. Yeah,
within the perfect movement, that perfect squat.
Yeah, so it can only
so
it can only go up straight up.
Squat with it.
Yeah, so you can push in any
barbell
direction. Yeah, you don't have to push perfectly straight up. You can push slightly off, and it will still force it to move because it's good enough, and the metal will do the rest of the work for you. But when you got free weights, you have to do the counterbalancing in every possible way. So free weights would always train you more.
Yeah, that's true.
It just feels like there's more muscles being activated to perform the squat with a barbell on your fucking traps.
It depends if you're doing a back squat or a front squat as well.
Yeah, front squats. I see one dude doing some front squats for gangsters still.
I see that Anatoly guy, mate. It's like, he's such a joker, bro. His mop weighs like 35 kg or something. When he finds it to these big, massive guys, like they struggle to pick it up, and he actually mops with it. Yeah, you see him actually mopping with it.
Yeah, but you know why? Because obviously he knows how much it weighs, so he's ready to lift it, innit? Them man are looking at it like it's a mop.
Surprise,
like, raw. Man grabs it and it's like, raw, this is actually a fucking Olympic barbell.
Yeah.
Oh, heavy.
But the thing is, like, he is actually slim, and when he does them big squats and that, and they look at his legs, and he's like got slim legs. Yeah, they can't believe it, and it's true. You like the weights that he carries. It's like it's unbelievable. How does he? And he carries on talking to them and laughing with them.
Dons, bro.
You can train your thingies.
I've seen some dons like that in the gym as well, cousin. They don't look like they are a massive size, yeah, but they're lifting numbers.
It ain't about how much you can lift. It's about how your body responds to the stimulus you're providing. I would prefer to lift lighter weights and have a better body shape and look nicer. Because I'm lifting weights to look good, innit? I'm not lifting weights to hit big numbers. I don't really give a shit. I'll rather work the light number and just do bare things like drop sets, rest pulls, just bare milk out every rep out of that fucking weight before I start thinking about putting up the weights. But that's just me though. Because I've got a back problem as well.
Yeah, no, yeah, everybody's got different goals, isn't it? But what you're doing is perfect for the goals that you're trying to achieve. So you know what I mean. Like a lot of people are doing the opposite of what you're doing, meaning that they could be as big as you, but they want to be muscular and they want to be even bigger. So they would never do any like cardio, running, or weight shedding type activities. They would just be still eating the proteins and just pumping up weights as much as possible. But that's because that's what they want to get out of it.
Even if you're like a bigger person or whatever, you still have to go on a fat loss program to make sure that you are incurring muscle as size rather than incurring fat and muscle as size. If your gain is just gain more muscle, lean muscle as mass rather than...
Unless it's your first year of training, you have to really employ a periodized training method where you're doing, like, let's say 6 weeks of strength. The muscle building, you do a little dieting, like a little stripping, and then you just jump back on the strength training and just keep it cycling them 3 things all the time. Because if you're doing strength training, you're not necessarily going to lose any weight. If anything, you might gain a bit of weight. Right? If you're doing muscle building, you're going to lose a bit of strength because you're not lifting as heavy anymore because you've got to do more reps. So your strength will go down. So really you need to do all 3 things separately in a periodized way. That's the best training method.
I followed the dude on YouTube, yeah.
Who? What's his name?
Vegan, yeah, black dude.
Eddie Abu? No.
He does, not Eddie Abu store. He's got a program called, it's a heavy stretch pump. So it's like a periodized program. 1 set's heavy, 1 set's stretch, and then 1 set's for the pump. So it'll be a light program to get pumps. I reckon that's his preferred way of building lean mass. I can't remember what his name was now. What's it called? Alpha Saturn. Not. There's a white dude called. Is it Alpha Destiny, Alpha Fitness, or Alpha Saturn? There's two dudes in there. The Alpha dude's good as well. Is his name Alex Leonardis?
Yeah, everyone's on this like build muscle, lose fat at the same time ideology. I don't know why everyone's doing that, because unless you're first year in the gym, it's not really going to work for you. It's going to be really difficult to do that. Recomp. They call that recomping. Can you not hear me still? Yoga, yo.
Hey, another.
Oh shit!
Okay, man.
Yeah, I can't. Why did you run from Nixie that night? Was it Nixie you run from, or was it someone else?
Sorry, I just was on my headphones. Sorry, what?
Do you remember that night we were chatting, yeah? And then someone was going to jump on, and then you jumped off just before they jumped on. Who was that?
Danny Roscoe said you was running from him still.
That's it, Roscoe.
Run.
Yeah, well, you didn't run from. You didn't. I'm saying that. I'm asking you. Like you didn't run from.
This is mama run.
Nah, like people were saying to me, "Oh, Danny was upset you dissed his mum," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't really diss his mum. I don't think."
And you know what it was? Yeah, it was that when I jumped up, because I was falling asleep in it. Yeah, but before I was gonna actually knock out, yeah, I thought, right, let me quickly check, see if anyone's there. And Danny Roscoe had just jumped off, and it was just leaving. And underneath it was quiet.
Yeah, so he would have got to have his say still. But I don't know. What did you say about him?
I was
just making a point that if he never had a white mum, no one really give a fuck what Danny Roscoe's got to say about anything. It's just so controversial that he's a black guy saying the things that he's saying. Like even when he said,
"Oh right," so you weren't really talking about his mum. Your point was that he's mixed race.
Wow, Danny Roscoe's actually accepted the fact that he's black. Like it was such a shock. Like, and he's just saying a basic thing like, that you could have learned from looking in the mirror. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you're a black guy.
Yeah, so your point was nothing. Your point was nothing to do with his mum. It was simply a way of pointing out that he's mixed race.
Which has always been my same point has been, can white privilege?
Danny plays the game. I think what Khan was trying to say,
children.
With that, to make Khan's statement more politically correct, so I think what he was actually trying to say,
I love it when
didn't
really
have the dictionary to do that. Was that?
Yeah, he's gonna save you and clean it up for you, bro.
No, I'm not even. It's not even that. It's just what I actually think he was trying to say in it, but man didn't have the dictionary to drop that. Was that obviously if Danny is playing the race game on his own terms also, where he knows that as a mixed race guy or a black looking person championing a lot of the policies that a lot of black people would make him stand out in a crowd, garner more attention.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That, yeah, I mean, yeah, he does do that, innit?
Yeah.
But he doesn't do it with the other side. He doesn't do it with the other side.
He understands. No, he understands. He understands the dog whistles he's playing and so and so. He understands where he's saying, the blacks and blah blah blah. He can do this, that, and the other. So he knows what game he's playing himself. He's playing the game himself.
Exactly that, bro.
Playing a black-white supremacist, isn't it? Like, the same sort of thing as well. Do you know what it does though? Yeah, it exposes the other people that support that sort of rhetoric though, because what it is that really and truly, he's saying stuff that the man them want to say, but the man them can't say it because the man them are gonna get racist and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly. So, but when you use that T word, they get upset. Like, oh, you're calling him a T word. T-O, you know the word, T-O-Ken. When you call man a T-O-Ken, it's like everyone's like, no, you can't call man a token. But really and truly, if you're saying things because you know that other people can't say it and you're saying it for them and they're going to rally behind you because you said it, then that is exactly what the dictionary definition of what a token is.
Yeah, but to be fair, like we don't know for sure whether he truly does believe these things deep down.
Yeah. That's all. We can't know. So, we can't know. It's a possibility that he don't know that he's doing it.
Bullshit that he's talking about. Though. Yeah,
I think that as well because he's since you know why Veli is because when you talk to him, I know you've had a debate with him in that, and you chatted to him a few times, but I've chatted to him a couple of times, maybe once or twice, and I have to admit that he comes across as a sincere person, meaning that he wants to have a genuine conversation. Yeah,
he believes.
So that shows me that he is believing what he says.
The black man has the whipping man over the white man, like Enoch Powell. Speech and all that. He believes that this is actually happening right now. And then when we're pointing out actual reports showing institutional racism and so and so, that's why he's batting it away so easily because he's like, as far as I'm concerned, that's not how it's happening. You man, I got too much power. You should be fucking below.
Really gets better at the voices though. It gets better all the time.
No, he just did a typical white guy voice.
This is that Danny Roscoe does try to mimic Tom Robson. He speaks like him. You know what I mean? Like, because the blacks. That's Danny Roscoe. I'm at a job interview. Yeah, they're like, so the uniform's black. And he's like, the blacks. And he starts going mad.
Obsessed.
The blacks. Oh, shit. Okay, sorry, you're not going to be the right fit for this job. I can't have you screaming out the blacks. Sorry, Danny.
Yeah, but me personally, I'll say that I genuinely believe that he does believe the things that he says because of the fact that he wants to have genuine conversations.
I don't think you can ever know that. You can't ever know that.
They believe it's real.
Yeah, like Nixie believes.
That's what they're arguing so hard about. I don't believe it's real. That's why I'm arguing so hard on the opposite side of it. Yeah, I think that's a hard pill to swallow for someone that believes a conspiracy is true as well. Someone that would believe a conspiracy is true is saying that they don't think it's true. They're like, makes them spaz out even more. Like, what do you mean it's not true?
But you know what? I think it's mad, yeah, that there's one thing about whether it is happening, you know, like, and you know, speaking from sociology,
as a plan.
Yeah, it is happening. The numbers are changing, the percentages are changing, and you can project this into the future. And yes, within a given amount of time, you know, a given color that's the dominant color will no longer be the dominant color. Yes, we can all accept that is happening at some you know stage of progress, like at some speed. But whether this is like some design by some outside agency coordinated across the world, yeah. And for the reason of causing unrest, and like that's just stupid. That's again a typical conspiracy whereby you reject every common sense thing. Yeah.
And I do the same thing as well. Where we will call these man dickheads, stupid, and so and so. Man's gonna clutch to what they're saying or what they believe is true even more harder now.
But we've tried reasoning with them, bro. Like you can't say we didn't try reasoning.
That's the only way that you have to do it, though. I'm talking about myself also. I can't keep calling these man dickheads and spazzes. And
I haven't got infinite patience.
Man is just gonna act like a dickhead and a spaz.
It's like
man are just gonna act like a dickhead and a spaz, innit, man? And start acting like a dickhead and start spazzing.
Yeah, I think that ship's already sailed by the time we get to that.
Yeah. It's too late for me now. Anyway, I'm just trying to help you, man, innit? Yeah. I've already been through that. You know.
Like, you know what? Sometimes I do say to myself, I say, look, even the worst of the worst, the dumbest of the dumbest, the dishonest of the dishonest, I could still just stick to the facts and stick to the point, and that would be probably the most like fruitful in terms of making anyone else, you know, see the validity of my point versus their point, or my position versus their position. So I do agree, you know, I think about that sometimes, and I do know that if I was to not, you know, just calling them idiots and stuff like that, conspiracy theorists, I'd probably get more done. But it's impossible to, bro, because they're so stupid and dishonest. Yeah,
and
they act like they're winning. They act like they're right.
So you have to call man a dickhead. You're like, bro, you dickhead. And then now it's over. Man's definitely it's fucked. No one's not going to listen to what you're saying now. It's too late now.
Because you know what?
It's too late.
Come on. How hard is it?
So he's never going to jump on the panel again. I called him a bitch one time in about 5 years ago.
DJ
I called him a bitch one time on the panel, yeah? He ain't jumped on the panel since. He's like, well, I ain't jumping on the panel. He called me a bitch. He's out. He ain't never come back again.
Dude, took it that serious. Yeah, some people a bit too sensitive for this sort of thing.
I think there is different responsibilities though for different people. Like we're playing different positions. I think me and Science, we could get away with kind of like calling people names, whereas with you, because you're the show kind of owner, I don't think like you get away with it. So like people will take it like it's like, you know, when Jedi said to me, "Go suck your mum," I proper took it to heart. But if it weren't Jedi and it weren't his show, I probably wouldn't have even. Like if it was Maku, I probably wouldn't even be that bothered. You know what I mean? Like I think Veli, he's walking the tightrope of like being the responsible one, basically. But that's his position. Yeah. He has to pay.
He's trying to set a standard. He's trying to set a standard.
A lot of times, people are holding me to a higher standard than they are holding a lot of other people to.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
When it comes down to either for evidence, for opinions, actions, all that sort of stuff there, like, A man will do the exact same, or someone will do something that's even 10 times worse, yeah? And man will say, yeah, but Valley called me an idiot. It's like, cool. You guys are winning that, bro. Trust me. No winning from. Yeah, man, trust me. The great replacement. It's like even at least Nixie has had to admit that, okay, anything that's happening naturally, obviously you can't fight against because it's just a natural progression of thing. So you're at least in half of the acceptance, innit? So that all the evidence over the years that shows how the migration patterns to the UK and how they've been migrating here, or who's been and why they've been migrating here, or whatever. Every single government that comes in to say that they're going to lower migration hasn't actually lowered migration. But why?
If we was to look at any kind of validity to her belief system,
no, can't. Why didn't they lower migration whenever they said that they was going to lower migration?
Because we need migration to run. This the benefit of the country. Migrants fucking build up this country, bro. Like, why would they why would they shoot themselves in the foot and not have migrants when countries are begging to get migrants? Like, you see Angela Merkel bending over backwards to get the best Syrian refugees. She was like, listen, if you're a teacher or a doctor, we want you. That's what she was saying.
Hey, listen, yeah. You want me to bring some pain? Huh?
Bring it.
Do you want the pain, the agony? Where is it? Where's the pain?
Hagani.
Let it play.
Quiz. Can I try you for one?
Yes.
I think you might know the answer to this already. How much do you reckon the average person who arrives in Britain on a skilled worker visa contributes back to the UK economy every year?
The net contribution. So the
Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Are they about to put the nail in the coffin on this? We don't need immigration. The immigrants ain't done nothing for our country. What do the imagine you're laying right next to an immigrant, yeah, talking about why do we need immigration? That is mad. Crazy. Yeah, crazy. That's the looniest shit ever. Yeah, right next to one, and the immigrants going, yeah, we do not need immigration. That's mad. I'm like, what? Huh? Pardon? Let it play.
amount of money that goes into 10 grand.
A little higher.
20.
Okay, you're nearly there.
What,
Can I just tell you?
Yes.
The average person arriving last year on one of these skilled worker visas made a net contribution of around £16,000, 300 to UK finances in their first year of being here. That's according to a new report out today from the Migration Advisory Committee. And it is really interesting, actually, because I think what it shows for Keir Starmer, who, as we've talked about repeatedly on your show and others, is that he's going to be setting himself up for a really difficult challenge about migration. Now, we know, according to the statistics that were out a couple of weeks ago, net migration reached around 900,000 a year a couple of years ago. Now, all of the experts say that those numbers are going to come down. A lot of MPs, of course, still worried about the impact of migration on the economy, what it means for house building, what it means for the NHS. There are a lot of legitimate concerns about it. But for Keir Starmer, he has said he will bring the numbers down. Now, the migration experts of this advisory committee say that's going to happen anyway. But for Keir Starmer, who obviously wants to grow the economy, and we know that this is actually more, if you're a skilled worker visa, if you come here on one of those visas, you actually contribute more to the economy than the average Brit. So that's around £14,400 a year in average for the average working British adults. That's around 15%.
All right, yeah, that there. Hey.
And that's just in tax in the first year.
The average skilled migrant brings more money to the Great British economy than the average working Brit. Hey, Yeah, you better start working, cuz, yeah, because you know what I'm saying. They could replace you with a migrant and get more bread. Oh shit! Oh man, now for you, man, are finished. Yeah, job seekers allowance, you're finished. Yeah. Unskilled fucking labourer, you're finished. Yeah, skilled labourer, you're finished. Because as far as the numbers are showing, yeah, migration of skilled migrants is bringing more to the economy than it's draining, isn't it? Like, so. Let it play.
More if you're a skilled migrant and you come here. So that's going to put up, I think, for Keir Starmer, a really difficult question. Is he prepared to grow the economy and to take more people into this country, which is what basically every single economist says is the thing that's going to continue to grow the economy? Or is he going to feel the political pressure of accepting
It's all
large,
about numbers. So
high
it's
migration?
two different numbers, isn't it? The numbers of people and the numbers of pounds. And if you don't look after the numbers of people, then you're going to lose out on the numbers of pounds, and that will affect economic growth. I mean, we've talked about gravity before. I don't know what the plan is, but these numbers are going to plummet anyway. You're suggesting he may need to re-engineer some of the things he inherited from the Tories to push numbers a bit above where they would be naturally.
Yeah, that's right. And the Migration Advisory Committee says that the numbers are going to come down. You know, we had a spike in the numbers of people coming here thanks to a number of reasons, Ukraine, thanks to, COVID fluctuations. There are a number of reasons which point to increases. But it all kicked off after we left the EU and the, migration from outside the EU took a really big spike. But, there's going to be a really big row about this in government.
Funny, innit, that these men voted for Brexit to stop migration. Left the EU and had to get more migrants from around the world. It's crazy still, man. Don't say no one said they told you so, but I told you so. Let it play.
Like it was under the last government. The Treasury obviously wants to keep the door open. They want to plug, skilled migrants for all of the gaps that we have in our labour market. And it links back to what we were talking about last week about the government's house building plans. They want to build 1.5 million homes over this parliament. That's incredibly ambitious.
Without any builders.
Exactly, they're going to have to rely on foreign builders to come here to build those homes. And I don't know whether that is something that...
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, really? Do you know my last job that I was doing and I had to go on site for HS2? The amount of people, that they were training up to work on the construction, they were all either Eritrean or Indian. But I'm talking about so many people just on that one site. And I tell you the truth, a lot of the sites where I was going to where there was builders, and because I was working in construction sort of delivery, delivering nuts and bolts and whatever, a lot of the people are brown. A lot of the people are brown. A lot. Swear to God. What they're saying ain't off point. It's true what they're saying. There's so many immigrants that are coming to work in construction, and these lot fucked up because if they didn't want brown people here, they've actually reverse engineered their own fuck up. So now it's got more. It's you got more than ever. And it's I was even chatting to the dudes. I was saying to them, did you already have these concrete laying skills and whatever back home? Is that why they brought you here? And man was like, nah, we learned it here. I was like, right, so you never even had jobs to come to? They was like, nah, they just brought us here and they were like, you'll learn when you get there. I was like, fucking hell, bruv. These got really fucked up badly.
This is why you see most of the well-educated or well-to-do people in the country like UK, they don't think like the people that we argue with. It's people sitting at home smoking 100 fags a day that ain't got a job, and that are worried about their benefits, shrinking, and just got fuck all to do, and someone needs someone to blame, and just don't like brown people, and it all makes sense to them. But well-educated intelligent people don't think like this. They understand that Brexit is a bad idea.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
No, but I was saying this before Brexit times, that the economists have all, there's been a consensus amongst economists that Brexit is not a good idea financially. It's not sound principles of economics. It's sort of very bad reasons like nationalism and racism, basically. That's not how you do economics, how good economics. So it was kind of like well known from the outset. But at the end of the day, where I lose out is there must have been enough people in the country who are that stupid and think like that, you know. But like I say, that is not going to be the majority of people in this country are not well educated and well off people.
Scientific
But
method, you just want more Kashmiris to come over to the country. Tell the truth, man.
no, I'm going to do a Banksy, mate. Shut. I'm going to do a Banksy on them, mate.
It's funny that, innit? Everyone hates their own, innit? Everyone hates
No, I'm
their own.
joking.
Bro.
I couldn't give a shit, mate. Like whatever in it, like people can come and go as they please. Just don't come here and do any horrible shit. That's it. Otherwise, fill your boots, mate. It doesn't bother me.
Oi,
What's funny?
leave them
There was
girls
another
alone.
argument. Listen. There was another argument that was made the other day, right, about people coming to the country and to show respect or disrespect, and I was like, okay, so which people come here on a holiday visa or a work visa specifically come here to show disrespect? Like, who are they? What group are they?
Yeah, it's crazy.
The majority of people that come here on visas or whatever are actually working on the things. They would be doing the most not to get in any trouble, because why? It's going to fuck up the visa. They're going to lose the work that they're doing and have to go home. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
But statistics show that anyway, that immigrants are less attracted to crime than indigenous people. That's a fact. That's a fact, bro. Why would you want to come to a country and then start getting involved in crime unless you're a degenerate person? I'm not saying there ain't none. Obviously, there is always a few bad apples, but majority of people, they've come from a situation where there wasn't that much good money to where they've got good money. So even if their good money ain't as good as your good money, they're still more happy with the money that they're on because it's considerably better than what they're used to. Then people ain't going to turn to crime. When they come to the standard of living that we got over here, people don't realize how cushy it is over here, bro. People coming from hardship, people coming from like having to walk miles every day. Like there ain't no buses on every corner. Man has got to walk and carry shit as well. People, when they come to this country, bro, like don't think they don't appreciate it. People appreciate it, man. People love this country.
Some people have come from good situations to go to get work experience in other countries and all that sort of stuff there. Like, like looks good on their CV and shit. Like the majority of people that come on work visas, education visas, employment visas or whatever, they go back to their countries after their visas finished. Majority.
Of course, bro.
It's a minority.
Especially
of people that stay on.
when I was at uni, there was like guys from Saudi Arabia, Iran, like well-to-do people. Like man's like, yeah, my dad's a diplomat, my dad's a this and that. Like, bro, to come to England to study, like you got to be from a good family still, you know.
The top two countries that migrants are coming from, are from India and from Nigeria. That's the top two countries right now.
That's it.
Still.
Big them up still.
The Indians and the Nigerians migrating, cool, man. All right.
I'm probably going to miss white people when they're gone, to be honest, a little bit.
What do you mean, bro? You know where to find them.
You're such an idiot. You're such a cunt.
You know where to find them, bro.
Yes.
Just go past the M25.
Oh my days.
Just go past the M25. They're all there, bro. Hertfordshire, Watford.
No, I'll tell my grandkids stories about white people and what they used to be like. Like these, we'll probably hear about them and read about them in history books and that. But I'll still be alive if I'm like 90 or 95, innit? And then I'll be telling them the stories about it.
It's true.
I told them that I told them like, can you not imagine that these one or two stragglers you see in every 1,000 person or every million person,
they just couldn't make it.
I would say, like, can you believe they used to be in charge of everything? They used to run everything. Yeah, they used to run the show, bro. They took over the world. Like they took over the world, mate. You know.
At one time.
They done well, man. They did that. They overperformed. They did. They you got to rate them.
So I can jump off.
Keir Starmer is prepared to accept. Now, lots of people close to him say, that he'll consider all of these things in the round. But, you and I have talked about the rhetoric that we've heard coming from the Prime Minister in the past couple of sort of weeks about that tough language from the Prime Minister and where it's come from. He seems to be leaning towards a crackdown on migration and to crack down on the numbers and to be quite harsh in his language. And I think we're going to be hearing a little bit more from him in the new year about some of those plans.
And the other news today, I suppose, which could be construed as a positive, although it may reduce the chances of an interest rate cut, is that pay growth has picked up for the first time in more than a year, according to some other official figures published today. The figure for the average Brit, and I don't know that this is an entirely fair comparison, so fair play to Natasha for not making it. But if you include all British people who are in full-time education, who are employed, who are retired, who are economically active, then the average contribution to the public purse stands at a figure of about £800 a year. So if you divide every Brit in the country according to the financial contribution they make to the country, then you're looking at about 800 quid a year. 20 times less than a migrant on a skilled worker visa, which is now the most popular category used by people coming to Britain to work. Just some food for thought for people who are capable of thought.
You're a colourful bunch.
What? Here we go, showtime! Got you, Sonic!
Oh, my bad.
You know what? I was about to pipe up and say that's an unfair comparison, comparing highly skilled migrants with the general population who qualify just by being economically active in some way, shape, or form. But he did qualify right at the end there to shut me up by saying that is the category that is the majority of migrants coming in. It's the majority of migrants coming in are highly skilled migrants. So fair enough, then the point stands.
Man, dropping all for frightened, man.
What does that even mean?
But
what does that mean, bro?
Yeah, that means that
I know what that means.
Know who to scare. Yeah.
I mean that people who don't believe in ghosts don't get scared by ghosts. Like, ghosts never turn up to scare us, do they? Because we don't believe in them. But the people who believe in ghosts seem to see ghosts every day.
Oh, I get it now. So yeah. So you're seeing a ghost on every corner.
You're seeing Duppy everywhere, cuz, you know what I'm saying? Like, Duppy and demons are running rampant around your head top. I think.
But you know what? I used to.
More, yeah. Go on, carry on.
I was going to say that I used to think the way I heard the context I heard it in was that it's that like a bully knows who to pick on, meaning knows who the weak ones are and knows who won't stand up for themselves, but they won't pick on the people who stand up for themselves.
That's not the context he was using it in. He's using it in the advanced level.
Yeah, I'd heard it in that sense first. But
my
then
favourite one
I've
is
heard
this.
people say,
you know this one? Every mickle make a muckle. You know what that means?
No, I can't say I do.
Every mickle make a muckle means like even small things are made up of even smaller things. So it's basically saying if you look after that saying, if you look after the pennies, the pound look after themselves.
Yeah. Take care of the small things, and the small things together add up
in other words, pay attention to the detail. They also say the devil lies in the detail. Also means that as well.
Yeah.
Every mickle make a muckle. Yeah. I like that one still because it rhymes.
Yo, all right. Shout out Andreas still, man. He was gonna jump on last Friday. He was ill still, man. So he might jump on this Friday, but it's a bit close to Christmas and all that still.
What did Jupiter say to him that made you kick her off? I missed that bit, man. Can you clip that and send it?
Well, if she was on a. Well, you can come onto my channel or Danny Roscoe's channel.
Shameless.
If you want to debate me anytime, just come onto my channel. Danny Roscoe's just like, man.
do that, man. Like, you can debate him right now on it. You know what I mean? And then if he said, "Oh, right, do you have a channel also?" That's like, yeah, let him send to your channel or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, oh, something else wanted to be arranged, but like, just jump on and try to teeth that. Imagine, yo, man's out here trying to fucking grab a couple new guests and all that. Every time there's a new guest jump on, you want to try to teeth them. How he did, man. Behave himself.
To be fair to Jupiter, though, she don't mind sharing because she took Danny Roscoe on the fucking tour of all the panels. Like, yeah, Danny, jump onto Jedi's. That was funny.
He's a black supremacist.
Yeah.
How did he fare on Jedi's? That would have been fun.
Jedi smashed him within about 3 minutes.
You just talking the same bullshit about like, oh, the blacks. Oh, fucking, and people were trying to eliminate these ones, that ones, or the other ones. It's like, oh, all right, bro. All right, mate. But go on then.
And assalamu alaikum and namaste, you beautiful people. Welcome to The Moral Reason with your boy Andreas. And old Nigel Farage, he's at it again. He's lying. Can you believe it? And the funny thing is, it's all happened in the last 24 hours. He's lied about what happened to Jeremy Corbyn. He's accusing the police of being two-tier because of this. So he's inciting hatred to the police and lying about JC. Now, if you don't believe me, just check this out. Okay, so as you can see here, this is where Jeremy Corbyn was in a masjid talking with some people. A masjid being a mosque, for those who don't understand the language. You'll see the man who is circled in the red there. This is the camera footage that was used in the court case that decided the man was going to go to prison for less than a month. But let's see how Nigel says thrown an egg at him. Do bear in mind those exact words from Nigel. Let's go. A clear punch to the head to an old man sitting down who wasn't expecting it. Very much.
Hey, pause. You man didn't know that the man then punched Jeremy Corbyn in the face.
No,
you man didn't know that.
When was all this?
Oh my days, Lord
Poor
have
JC.
mercy. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And Nigel Farage tried to compare getting a milkshake dashed in his security's grill to the same thing as him getting Jeremy Corbyn getting the a token. You know what I mean? So, my God,
Stephen Yaxley Lennon behaviour there. Now, let's go and see Nigel's tweet, shall we? And of course, here we are. Nigel's page. Let's see what else he's come up with this morning, shall we? Oh, the only threat to democracy is Labour cancelling elections to stop the reform surge. It's funny that, because if they got into power, it was part of their manifesto to reform Parliament and the way the electoral system works. So they would have had this happen anyhow. Wonder why they're bitching about it. Anyway, back on point. Oh, Braverman, let's see how this liar comes out. Oh, that slipped out. Two-tier justice on full display. Nigel Farage Tucker avoids jail for a physical assault. Well, technically, he's not wrong. It is a physical assault, but she didn't actually touch him with her person, did she? No, she just threw a liquid at him. Maybe Nigel's lactose intolerant. Oh, maybe it was semi-skimmed. Maybe it was a semi-skimmed milkshake. That's what's got him so far up his own backside. And here it is. The man who threw an egg at Jeremy Corbyn in 2019 was found guilty of assault by beating. He went to prison. Victoria Thomas Bowen was convicted of the very same crime against me today, but was spared jail time. This is undeniable example of two-tier justice in our country. Now, considering the footage that we've actually just seen, where Jeremy Corbyn was actually punched in the head by a man holding an egg in his hand, compared to a adult industry worker throwing a most likely semi-skimmed milkshake at him, who's actually been physically hurt far more. Granted, it could be more stressful because she could have thrown anything at him, but she threw a milkshake, totally harmless, and had to pay the whole sum of £17.50 to have the security man's jacket dry cleaned. Wow, expensive. But, as it is, Nigel claiming it's an undeniable example of two-tier justice. Well, funny thing is about that, Nigel, it is actually deniable, isn't it? Let's just keep it there, shall we? Just so we can really, really hit home. Like, he's just such a lying scumbag, isn't he? Good God. Talk about throwing your toys out the pram. And the thing is, he's gonna batten down on this, knowing that his fandom, over 90% of them, will not look into the video with Jeremy Corbyn. He knows damn well a large chunk of his following, just like those on GB News, do not do their own research, do not do their own fact checking. They just believe anything these people tell them. Jesus wept. Okay, so now before we go, we've just had a look at this CPS sentence. This is the sentence of Victoria Thomas Bowen from the CPS directly. Now we go. A woman's been sentenced after a milkshake at Prospective MP during a campaign event earlier this year. She was sentenced to 13 weeks imprisonment, suspended for 12 months at Westminster Magistrates. She earlier pleaded guilty to assault by beating and criminal damage after throwing a drink at Nigel Farage, MP. As Farage was leaving a local pub, threw the drink, it hit him, she was arrested, and admitted in a police interview that she targeted him because she did not agree with his political views. Rebecca Mundy of the CPS said this threatening behaviour and attacks on electoral candidates and officials would never be tolerated, ensuring those who serve the public feel safe in their role, blah, blah, blah. Notes to editors. Victoria Thomas Bowen was sentenced to 13 weeks imprisonment, suspended for 12 months and 120 hours of unpaid work at Westminster Magistrates Court on Monday, 16th of December. It's funny how Nigel didn't mention any of those little details in his tweet, didn't he? I wonder why. It's very interesting, isn't it? It's funny how the man never gives his audience the full information, but yet gives enough information to create an image, a fictitious image, if you will. But it is what it is, isn't it, Nigel? Dearie me. How is this, how is it feasible that this man has risen to such prominence? How is it that he's managed to garner such a following who just believe everything he says without actually looking into it? And I guarantee you, we're going to be seeing a lot of this nonsense on various media outlets who will be pushing this lying fascination of two-tier justice. I mean, this really looks like two-tier justice, isn't it? So the man who got convicted punched an old man in the head sitting down in a religious place of worship, might I add. And this one is a young woman who threw a milkshake at an older man coming out of a pub when he should have been working. Which one is more severe? Which one is actually due to actually be in prison for an actual physical assault, not just having a woke piece of dairy thrown at them outside a Spoon's pub? Now, of course, does that make it right what she did? Absolutely not. Was that the moral thing to do by Victoria? Categorically not, because you don't just randomly assault people, even if you don't disagree with them politically. I could sit in a room with Farage or even Yaxley Lennon, and I wouldn't even contemplate assaulting them, because that's not how you should do things. You should be able to talk to people who have opposing views without needing to resort to violence of any kind. Can't say the same for Yaxley Lennon, of course, because as soon as I turn around, he'd probably punch me in the back of my head, because that's what he does. But looking for my dog, there she is. As I said, what she did, Victoria, was morally wrong. However, what Nigel's doing is not just morally wrong, unethically, unequivocally wrong on many, many levels, because he's not only lying to his entire audience, he's manipulating and pushing a narrative and an agenda against the UK judiciary. Which, if you're lying about the UK judiciary and you're pushing that narrative to your following, knowing that they're not fact-checking, I'm pretty sure that's inciting hatred. I'm pretty sure that could actually be tantamount to treason. Might have to look into this, you know. Good day, and that's a
I watched a documentary called The Most Dangerous Place in Britain by Talk TV. And this was filmed in, drumroll please, Middlesbrough. So, Middlesbrough is regarded the most dangerous place to live in Britain because it has the highest rate of SA offences, it has the second highest rate of knife crime, and the fourth highest rate of drug offences. So they've gone around interviewing people living in the Middlesbrough, and one man has said he's been burgled in literally every single house he's ever lived in. A man who owns a phone shop in Middlesbrough has said his shop has been burgled 9 times. So it's been burgled so much, he has resorted, in putting razor mesh wires inside of his shop and outside of his shop. So when his shop closes, on top of the till, he puts razor mesh wires and all this barbed wire across the floor, in the corners, you know. So if someone tries to burgle him and they try to jump over the roof, that's it, mate. You know, that's it. I mean, in the streets, they've said crack cocaine is very common. They've got children as young as 12 smoking crack cocaine. They've got so many people carrying around knives for protection. But really and truly, I'm not going to lie, in this interview, there was one man. He was saying that he carries a knife around to protect himself. And he ended up using a knife on somebody because they didn't give him a cigarette. I mean, so much for protecting yourself. But I mean, Middlesbrough has been named as the epicenter for UK crimes, and 14% of people, according to this documentary, have been a victim of crime or have been involved in crime. And many people in Middlesbrough have links to people who have been through knife crime, whether they're a perpetrator, whether they're a victim, or whether they know a victim. And everyone that was being interviewed said, I don't leave my house at dark. And they said, listen, once it gets to 4 p.m, they feel unsafe. 4 p.m, as in when it's dark, they feel unsafe. They wouldn't dare walk outside because, you know, there's always people selling themselves on the street. There's always druggies. There's always, you know, people armed with knives and robberies and everything like that. So the people in Middlesbrough, or this area of Middlesbrough, generally don't feel safe. And if you're a snitch, God help you, because they're spraying your names all over the walls, you know. If you're grass, they'll spray here, John the Grass, and then everybody's out there to get you. So you don't snitch either. Oh yeah, and the shopkeeper with the barbed wire, when phones got robbed from his shop, the following day, the same people that robbed his phone came back and tried to sell it to him. It's the audacity for me. It's the audacity. They came back because they obviously know, they're so confident that he's not going to tell the police. And even if he does, the police are not going to do much. I mean, the guy who ended up, you know, chinging someone because they didn't give him a cigarette got 14 years. And then he's come out on this channel and he started saying, oh, you know, anyone out there who wants to carry a knife, just don't do it. I mean, you don't need to tell anyone twice, mate. It was a bit of an ick for me because it's like, oh, why should they listen to you? You know, you've sat there and you've said that you ended up slashing somebody for cigarettes. And he wasn't even taking responsibility like that. He's like, unfortunately, the guy ended up getting stabbed. So sorry guys, quickly, I've come back just to add some more sources, so it's not just coming from one program, but generally if you do Google, every time you Google something about the most dangerous place to live, Middlesbrough will always be there. Here it says Cleveland, it was the most dangerous place to live at one point. Cleveland, that's where Middlesbrough is, you know, it comes under Cleveland. There's another one, Cleveland again is at the top, but you can go on Google and you'll find other sites referencing Westminster or referencing Manchester as the most dangerous places to live, but Middlesbrough and Cleveland is always there. Apparently the most burgled area is also Middlesbrough, which you can Google. So it's not about, you know, they have the most violent crimes, because that's simply not true, but it's the fact that they rank very highly in various crimes, and that is what makes it, or people consider it, a very dangerous area. So today I watched a documentary called The Most Dangerous Place in Britain by Talk TV, and this was filmed in, drumroll please, Middlesbrough. So Middlesbrough is regarded the most dangerous place to live in Britain because it has the highest rate of SA offences, it has the second highest rate of knife crime and the 4th highest rate of drug offences. So they've gone around interviewing people living in the Middlesbrough, and one man has said he's been burgled in literally every single house he's ever lived in. A man who owns a phone shop in Middlesbrough has said his shop has been burgled 9 times. So it's been burgled so much, he has resorted, in putting razor mesh wires inside of his shop and outside of his shop. So when his shop closes, on top of the till, he puts razor mesh wires and all this barbed wire across the floor, in the corners, you know. So if someone tries to burgle him and they try to jump over the roof, that's it, mate. You know, that's it. I mean, in the streets, they've said crack cocaine is very common. They've got children as young as 12 smoking crack cocaine. They've got so many people carrying around knives for protection. But really and truly, I'm not going to lie, in this interview, there was one man. He was saying that he carries a knife around to protect himself. And he ended up...
Yo, so you see it there? These men tried to finesse it the other day, innit, yeah? Where they tried to do the per capita equaling 217 arrests, making 30-something% against 10,000. I think it was 217 arrests versus 10,700 and something arrests, which makes up 10%. Get the fuck out of here, man. You man, mad. Crazy. Hey, Calm, what you saying? You there about, yeah? I might quickly wrap it still. Huh? What you say? Yeah, what did you say? Just think about something else to play on. No. Oh yeah, I have actually. Mad.
Try to get out of it, but try to save everyone else while I was trying to get out of it myself.
Ellie Reynolds was barely a teenager when she said she was groomed, kidnapped and raped by Sarge Mir. He and 2 of his brothers have now been convicted of more than 60 sexual offences against children in relation to other victims in Leeds and Barrow. But when Ellie went to the police years ago, the CPS decided not to take her case to court. She first told us her story in 2020. It all started when she was 13. Through friends, Ellie began hanging out with a group of much older men. But she says she was soon in the grip of a group of men who viewed her as their property.
I'd just be taken off the street, I'd just be dragged in a car and put in a footwell and drugged. And they used to keep their hands on my head so I couldn't even put my head out the window. And I wouldn't come home for days.
Did you think, I'd love to tell my mum, I'd love to tell my dad?
Yeah, but I couldn't because I didn't want to put my family at risk, but then I didn't want to upset them.
Ellie's parents knew something was wrong but didn't realise exactly what. The answer came one day in the form of a police officer on the doorstep.
There's this guy stood there and he's like, "Oh, hello, I'm detective from Cumbria Police. I'm here to tell you your daughter's being groomed." And I'm like, "What?" And he went, "Can I come in?" I was like, "Yeah, you better, Ad."
So the police actually came to you first
and
told you Ellie was being groomed?
Yeah.
And at this stage, did you even really know what being groomed was about?
No, if you want the honest, because I was like, "What's grooming?" And it was when this policeman told me, and it just killed me.
But despite the fact the police appeared to know Ellie was at risk, they were unable to stop her being abused.
I was in a flat with nothing in a corner of a room, chained up naked. I was treated like a dog, and I tried to fight back. I tried to run down the stairs. I got away. I tried to run down the stairs, and I fell. And the top of the stairs just stood laughing, and you just live that evil laugh then all the time. And I realised that when you argue back, that's when more's going to happen to you.
We locked the house at night, so we locked the doors, we took the keys out, we took the keys to bed, and then we get up the next morning, she won't be there.
By 2018, Ellie, who's now 17, says she's endured years of abuse. Terrified, she decides to make a statement to the police. She tells them she has been repeatedly raped and kidnapped, her main perpetrator, the brother known as Sarge. But the day after she gives her statement, it's Ellie who's arrested, accused of blackmailing someone out of £200, a crime she's always claimed was linked to her abuse. This charge was eventually dropped, but she's told there would be no further action taken against her abusers by the CPS.
They might as well have just killed me then, because it was like, now the men know that I have reported it. Now I have no protection and they're coming for me. They're going to kill me. That's the first thing I thought. They're going to kill me.
Chris Dorr is a KC who was so horrified by Ellie's case, he fought the blackmail charge against her pro bono. He says the decision by the CPS is typical of how many victims of child sexual exploitation are still treated by the criminal justice system.
Sadly, many of these young women are not taken seriously and they are seen as being in some way unreliable because they have chaotic lifestyles, because at young ages they take drugs and they drink, often, of course, at the hands of their abusers, and that's how it starts.
Ellie says she continued to live in fear of her abuser. What she didn't know was there were other victims known to the police as far back as 2009, and that a police investigation was underway. So now, 6 years after she went to the police, all three brothers have been found guilty of crimes against other victims, 63 charges in total. The majority of offences, including 9 counts of child rape, sexual assault of a child, and 8 counts of indecent assault, were carried out by Shahar Joman Mir, the man known as Sarge, the very same man Ellie Reynolds told police was her rapist. Following the convictions, we went back to see Ellie again. She's delighted some victims have got justice, but the court verdict is bittersweet.
It's so upsetting because you think, how many other people is there as well as me that haven't had their day in court?
I also feel a little bit gutted because I think, why wasn't I believed? It kind of upsets me that I never got to put him behind bars, really.
A Crown Prosecution Service spokesperson said a careful review of the evidence in Ellie's case concluded there was not a realistic prospect of securing a conviction, and that they have now recruited victim liaison officers to give victims a single point of contact, and they're giving extra training to staff. Cumbria Constabulary told us they thoroughly investigated each allegation at the time, and the CPS decided not to authorise charges. They say they are committed to doing everything in their power to stop abuse and bring perpetrators to justice.
I was just a little girl.
Yo, that one's mad, I lie. God damn. Yeah,
Well,
man,
there's
fuck that,
some
man. Ban all
heartless-
nonsense.
Heartless bastards in this world, man.
Trust me.
Them man need Sharia, bro. They need some Sharia hangings. And I see the dad crying, bro. That hurt my feelings, bro. That poor dad. Thinking about what they've done to his daughter.
Trust me. Trust me.
Heartless little wankers.
God damn. It's freezing outside, man.
Mm.
Let's see. I can put this heating on. Yeah, man, I don't know how. That's a liberty, yeah? The girl told the police first of all, and she didn't, it's like they didn't believe her or something. That's a liberty. How did that happen?
How did they get convicted then? Like, what's different about the other cases with her case?
There's obviously more people come forward and the more different investigations to be made. Yeah. It's probably how they finally got caught in the end. It's different
Disgusting
investigations.
people, man. Evil people.
Bacons. Straight bacons, real life bacons. Wow.
That's something out of a film, like a horror film. You know, like you expect
No,
Charles
yeah.
Bronson to turn up and just start murdering people.
The only good thing about people like that getting caught is that a lot of times they might get fucked up in jail.
Yeah, hopefully they will see some justice. How many victims did they say they had? Loads, isn't it?
Yeah, 60 something, I think it was.
Fucked up people, bro. That was a mad report, bro. Especially the dad, though. The way the dad, like, he's just chatting normally 1 minute, and then the next minute his eyes just start welling up, like, just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, 'cause it's
Imagine that's your baby. That's your little baby, bro. Like, fucking hell. It's the harshest thing. The harshest thing ever. My heart really goes out to that guy, man.
No. Take that off the screen.
Today,
Take that off the screen. I don't think I've got any more other videos. I'm just trying to just go through all the videos that I missed out on.
Whenever these things happen, there is a reluctance to tell us the full truth. The police in Kent were telling all the broadcasters the need to play down the incident. So I asked why.
My point is that there is a discrepancy.
Right. Well,
He
I haven't
said
seen
I
it.
pushed
I believe
her
you.
over.
I believe you.
But
I haven't
that's
seen the
the court
discrepancy.
document.
It's a spent
Well, what did he
conviction,
tell you
end
he'd
of
done?
conversation.
Well, what did he say he'd
Spent
done
conviction,
to you?
end of conversation. A member
For the
of Parliament.
victim, for him to imply that she was pushed over
I
when
don't
the
know.
court document says
I
he
don't
kicked her, that's difficult for the victim, isn't
I'll
it?
believe anything you say.
I am confused.
It seems
Yeah, man. Nigel's a bit of a confusing character still.
Nigel, that deny, stick a fork in my eye. I'm still gonna deny.
Alright. Let me wrap it, man. I'm just numbing a summer, man. I've got to go and do some work.
Yeah, same. I'm eating something as well.
Alright, big up, Khan. Big up,
All right,
everyone in
man.
the chat.
You don't know.
Back later, innit?
Yeah, man.
Big up.